Jason Cooper has been nothing short of dominant in the global Mazda MX-5 since the new year. Through the National Park of Speed we'll go, and I really think this is the first opportunity for Jason Cooper to maybe be passed up by the rest of the competition. Slide jobs, slingshots, all of it. We're gonna see it here in round 5 of BSR. 10 rounds this season. This is the one where I think Jason Cooper gets beat. Hello and welcome to Pit Stop TV and the virtual Road America. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV with JP Costa, and JP, Road America looks easy enough. Sure, it's straight lines and some right angles, but most of these drivers, I think, will definitely be spent, or most of these drivers' time rather, will be spent on the throttle. Sure, it looks easy. It's the corners, the intricacies in between, the twisty bits that this track does have, the few of them that are going to change things up. That's what makes the laps here. That's what makes the race here as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, as you mentioned, we spend most of the time flat out on the gas, just trying to follow someone. But the corners we do have, Andrew, I'm pretty sure each and every single corner, it's easy to make a mistake. It's easy to lose time, and that's the last thing you want to do on a track like this. Being so dominant, so, I guess, having so many straightaways where you can make up so much time, if you lose that draft, Andrew, that's a lost cause. So drivers really have to be on the edge, just like they have been throughout the season, to avoid any sort of mistake.
We'll go ahead and take a look now at the track map that we're talking about, and again, it looks like a bunch of straight lines, right angles, and maybe a twisty bit or two, but there's plenty of intricacies here that really make up the course. It is 14 corners, turns 2 and 4 you could kind of throw out maybe, so if you want to call it 12 corners, I wouldn't disagree, but of course those are quarter marshal stands. We'll count them for now. So 1, 2, 3, pretty straightforward. It's two right-handers, but it's when you get down through the moraine sweep, JP, to turn 5 that things get pretty difficult. That braking zone, it's a fantastic passing opportunity, but it's complicated. It's downhill, and there's not a whole lot of runoff on the outside.
Yeah, absolutely, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of action, because obviously that's going to be at the end of the second straightaway. Then you quickly go uphill to turn 6, and that also, Andrew, could be an interesting point. Obviously, that blind apex could really throw some drivers out. Turn 7, well, it's essentially flat out. Turns 8, obviously, is going to set you up for the carousel, and Andrew, that's going to be an important zone, because you don't have a lot of runoff area. Actually, you don't have any, if I'm not mistaken. It's just gravel and grass, so if you make a mistake there, well, your race, it's really going to be put on the back foot. Then, obviously, you have the kink. So easy to make a mistake, so deadly, I guess you can say. If you dip a wheel and your car gets loose, well, you're probably going to be seeing those concrete barriers. And obviously then you head to the third massive straightaway down into turn 12.
And Canada Corner, I think, is the other best passing opportunity aside from turn 1 and turn 5. Turn 12 it's set up mostly the same. If you get through the kink and kettle bottoms nice and cleanly, you get down to turn 12, and it's a fantastic opportunity to shoot up the inside, or if somebody goes defensive on you, try and outbrake them around the outside and cut off their exit. And that, of course, brings you through Bill Mitchell Bend and turn 14 that wraps you back around for the lap. It gets relatively straightforward at that point. They are pretty fast corners, 12, 13, and 14. There isn't a ton of opportunity side by side through 13, but you can make it happen, I think, in these Miatas, even touring cars tomorrow, on Thursday. I think it's doable. It's just going to be a little bit difficult for these guys to make happen, and certainly cleanly at that. Let's take a look at the standings today as we come in for round number 5. 4 rounds in the book, as you can see, and Jason Cooper, 263 points, JP. Back to James Neve. Lars Fischer only another 3 points back, and then it's Adam McNally in 4th with 305 points deficit to Jason Cooper. Nick Clibbins, Andy McEwen, Lee Holmes. Then you have Thoratolo and Sam Smith sneaking into that top 10 as Pro-Ams.
Yeah, it's amazing, but Andrew, it's starting to get difficult to see the gaps between second and back. I mean, the gap between Cooper and Neve is it's way too big. But, I mean, he has earned each and every single point. And then, obviously, you look, only 8 points separating Thoratolo from Sam Smith. Really close battle. It's a really good battle to keep an eye on. And then, obviously, we still have 2 more Pro-M drivers, Schroer and Silkstone. And also 2 M drivers, Schrill and Hatcher, really putting all those battles and actually outscoring Craig Schill, a couple of pro drivers. A really good battle, Andrew, but I expect these points to change quite a bit after tonight's 4 rounds.
Oh, certainly. This is going to be a big draft fest. We're going to see some big dive bombs, some big slide jobs, and slingshots certainly in the middle of the straightaway. We're going to see a lot of passing here tonight and on Thursday. What can prevent that, though, what can get in the way of that passing is those corners and drivers making mistakes and the field thinning out. So we'll see just how much of that passing we actually see come to fruition. We could see some things get in the way of it. But anyways, let's go. Excuse me, let's go trackside and check out qualifying. Lars Fischer on pole so far, JP, and Jason Cooper just behind. Casper DeCourt in that train as well. And you have to wonder here if Casper is set up for the best lap of the three.
It could definitely be. Obviously, the slipstream Andrew is going to be dominant, and this is a really good place, I guess, to really use your teammates in qualifying. Really, you can see, how much time they're making up. And now, obviously, Casper Andrew, well, he's not in the top 3, actually. He's just behind Cockrell, who is our current Pro-Am leader. And you can see just lifting maybe a little bit to his teammates. So, Cooper, I feel like Cooper is going to go for pole this time around. So, we're just going to have to wait and see. But, well, it's really odd to bat. Really odd, I guess. It's really difficult to bat against him, isn't it?
Yeah, Cooper got the slingshot there to go on by Lars Fischer. And I think they'll try and get Casper on by this next time through. So Jason Cooper goes on through. We'll see if he's able to set a fast lap this time around. And he's going for pole to try and get ahead of Lars Fischer. It's a 2.5 gap. So a quarter of a second up to the line. 2:29, 2:30. It's not going to be a pole time by any means. 2 seconds off. So that might have even been one of their first laps on the racetrack. They're trying to get back into a sequence here. But through the rest of the field, you mentioned Craig Cockrell, one of the Pro-Ams. He is in the top 3. In fact, he is in, third position, which is certainly by far pole for Pro-Am, as there's Thortolo further down in 7th place. Liam Silkstone is 8th. If you go look for the AM pole sitter, you got to find Adam Fox, who's currently in the pit lane. Duncan Cope checks in at 2nd.
And I feel like this racetrack has been so far, I guess you can say the gaps between the drivers have been the biggest amongst the season, Andrew. But I don't think that's really going to translate to race pace. We mentioned how important and how dominant the slipstream is going to be. So if these drivers are looking at the lap times and thinking, well, I'm 2.6 seconds behind pole, well, I mean, if you just keep on that gap, if you just keep yourself on the slipstream, that 2.6 seconds is going to go absolutely nowhere. You're just going to be reeled back into those battles. Now we're going to see if Duncan Cope can actually improve his lap time. Currently sitting on 132.4. And with some bit of slipstream he was getting through the final sector, Andrew, I think it's very likely if he hit his, track the lap before perfectly.
See what he can do here. He's following. I want to say that is potentially Craig Schill just ahead of him, and yes, it is. So Craig goes off track there, and Duncan might have just followed him off. Yeah, Duncan's going to come into the pit lane. So those laps are done for those guys. Adam Delmont is headed into Canada Corner now, and he's drafting with one of his teammates, Nick Clibbins, so he just got a slingshot into Canada Corner there, it looks like, and should have an opportunity to go a little bit faster here ahead of car 13. Adam is currently the slowest qualifier in the field, 20th position, ahead of some apparent quali bans, those being 6 drivers of Mark Oliver, Glenn Humberstone, Michael Seal, Adam McNally, Jamie Gulliford, and James Clark. And actually, Clark is on the racetrack, so maybe only 5 quali bans. As here we go, Delmont up the hill to the start-finish line. Can he go faster?
Well, we're going to have the answer in a few seconds. And the answer, Andrew, I feel like is a solid yes. And yes, it is 2.5 seconds quicker. That's going to shoot him up all the way to 10th place. There you go. Yeah, in the top 10. So a good lap, good help from his teammate as well. And, well, that's going to bag him a provisional top 10. Granted, if no one else improves, we're going to keep an eye on for these guys. But currently, Lars Fischer is the one on provisional pole. Can Casper DeCourt dethrone his teammate? And the answer is no.
No changes there for these 3. Craig Cockrell will stay in 3rd as Pro-Am pole sitter, and they will lift, and that's it. They are the only cars. Well, James Clark is on the racetrack. Clark might actually be able to get a lap time in here. Might.
Yes, I think he will with 1 minute 30. He's in a minute at 10. He should be in a minute and 20 to finish on the racetrack. A minute and 25, so he should be right on the edge. This is a last-ditch effort to put a lap time in, Andrew. Well, in any time is going to be good enough for him. Obviously, he's going to set him up a few extra spots, so he just needs to make sure he doesn't invalidate it.
You can see the car yawing out there through the carousel. Just trying to hold it right on the edge of grip there. Does a fantastic job there on the Swift Cooper number 20. He'll head through the kink. And this is a great opportunity, actually, to see what things look like from onboard through the kink there and down to Canada Corner. For one of these little Miatas, you're moving pretty quickly. In excess of 120 miles an hour, almost to 125. Potentially, we can pull up the telemetry as he heads off into the corner. Yeah, about 122 there at braking. And the trouble with trying to qualify at Road America, JP, is no matter what car you're in, you've got to take more fuel than you might usually. So in a place like Knock Hill, where it's only 1.25 miles, you don't need a whole lot of fuel for a quali lap. But here, you've got to figure for 8.5 miles at least for an out lap and 1 lap of qualifying. That's a lot of fuel. And Clark does go a little off there. That might invalidate his lap.
Yeah, they might put his whole work, and you can see, Andrew, as you mentioned, over 2 minutes and 30 seconds you need to go around this racetrack. That's a long time to be out there. Obviously, if you're putting 2 qualifying laps, well, that's around 5 minutes of your time. That's 1/3 of the race if you just put 2 laps in, and looks like he's not going to be able to set a lap time. So, yeah, it's a long lap, a lot of fuel, and a lot of places to make mistakes.
Yeah, I really think a lot of these cars were weighed down more than they wanted to be, having to go out there for a qualifying run, and especially down these straightaways. I mean, you would think, they should get up to about 125, so 122 is a little weighed down, I think. I really think he was taking a little bit of extra fuel there, potentially race fuel, as we'll see here in a few moments. We're expecting about 6 laps per race, and this is the starting grid for the first of them. Lars Fischer on pole. That is a good welcome change. Jason Cooper there in second in car number 1. And starting third, you've got Pro-Am pole sitter Craig Cockrell in car 546. Casper DeCourt rolls off from 4th. Nick Clibbins in 5th. James Neve 6th. Thoratilla rolls off from the 7th spot with Liam Silkstone 8th. And Andy McEwen will start from the 9th position with Adam Delmont 10th.
11th place goes the way of Sam Smith. Alongside him, Liam Stimson in 12th place. 13th place, starting row number 7, we're going to have Adam Fox, the pole sitter for the amateur class, and Douglas Stewart on his outside in 14th place. 15th place is going to be Duncan Cope on the inside, and the outside Fiona Siddons in 16th. Row number 9, we're going to have on the inside lane Roger Morton and Craig Schill on the outside in 10th place. And obviously, row number 10, Andrew, we're going to have Ashley Stimson in the inside line in 19th and Alistair Hatcher in 20th place.
Only 20 cars turned a time. The rest of these guys are drivers that did not turn a lap time in qualifying. Adam McNally, it seems like, serving a quali ban. James Clark was on track but didn't get a lap time in. Then the rest of these guys, it seems, served a quali ban from last week at Sonoma. You've got Michael Seal, Jamie Gulliford, Mark Oliver, and Glenn Humberstone all the way down through position 26. So 26 cars as a whole. It's going to fit in nicely to our spinny wheel after race number 1. And for the rest of the afternoon, and red lights are on, so we are ready for the first race of the day. 15 minutes, about 6 laps, maybe more, maybe fewer. Green flag is out for the first time at Road America. Oh, already contact. One of the 88 Tech cars moved over. And that is Liam Silkstone out in the dirt. I would have to imagine Thoratilla moved over on him.
Yeah, might have just done a little bit, and that's really going to cost him a few positions as we head down into turn number 3. You can see the whole field, Andrew, very packed. A lot of drivers going side by side, and even more contact.
Mark Oliver and Alistair Hatcher turned around in turn 3. They get back after it as the rest of these guys head under that Sargento Bridge. And here we go. Already battles. James Neve looks to the inside of Craig Cockrell, who's already lost 2 spots. The 5-Star Motorsport cars have taken over the top 3. And Nick Clibbins there tries to go around the outside of Casper DeCourt.
He's going to try it too. I don't think he's going to be able to do it around the outside. It's really difficult if you're not alongside. And a lot of these drivers have to be careful, Andrew, to not make too many crazy moves that might hurt his car, because if you get a little bit of aero damage around here, you're going to really be using a lot of drag, and you're really going to be losing a lot of top speed. So drivers have to be careful, but they still need to make a position. So it's a really tricky game as we have even more battles around hitting the midfield.
On board now with Fiona Siddons in position number 19, just behind Michael Seal, Adam McNally, and Craig Schill. Oh, that was a sketchy braking zone there, but Fiona gets the car lowered down, does not make contact, and you can see these guys reaching an impasse and moving over. Craig Schill makes contact there with Michael Seal. Oh, maybe more contact. Yes, definitely. Oh, no, Roger Morton.
Roger Morton unfortunately spun out, and it looks like he may have collected. No, he didn't actually. So a lot of close calls for the drivers behind him, and it looks like they all avoid a collision. But unfortunately for him, Andrew, the damage is already done. As we cut further ahead, you can see the top 3 really close together again. Jason Cooper still leading from his teammate Lars Fischer.
So the 5-star motorsport cars, exactly where you would expect them, and we are not even through one full lap of racing. Greg Schill loses the spot there to Michael Seal. They had contact into the carousel this lap, but they get that sorted out now. And finally through turn 14 we'll go. Oh man, they might just be able to control this race. I was really thinking we might see a bit of a diversion from usual, but I'm not sure Nick Clibbins will be able to take care of these 3 guys on his own.
Anything can happen, Andrew. We still have 12 minutes of race. Actually, we only have 12 minutes of racing. That was 1 lap. And you can see up ahead, Andrew, they're going to start battling. If anything happens, well, they're going to be right on their back to really pounce for Mazda. But obviously, using his teammates, using this help, Andrew, it's really hard to dethrone them. But you can see just running a bit wide like that, it's really going to cause maybe a few mistakes. And that's really going to start bunching up the field. So it's just a matter of time before other drivers start looking down there inside and trying to break up this trio.
What they're going to try and do here, though, is swap the lead leapfrog, just like this on the straightaways, and keep themselves up front. So they're drafting the faster cars on by here, and Lars is going to drop down to 3rd in line, so Jason Cooper goes on by. Casper DeCourt's pushing to try and get himself on by. They're going to leapfrog, just like NASCAR battle or NASCAR draft packs at Daytona and Talladega. They're going to try and leapfrog and keep themselves out front so that the faster car is always advancing ahead as opposed to bogging themselves down and trying to stay in that line in the same order. So they've got this down to a science, I think. They've just got to get it, well, maybe not down to a science just yet, but they've got the idea down for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just as you mentioned that, we saw a bit of a mistake, a bit of maybe a miscommunication with Casper DeCourt and Lars Fischer. As you can see further behind, we have a few extra battles. And Andrew, this is a tricky spot to overtake. You can see Ashley Stimson really throwing in the car in there, and the car, well, really not liking it. But you can see already losing 2 positions. And this looks like it's just inside the top 20, if I'm not mistaken. Outside of the top 20. So yeah, just a few, just at the bottom of the line. But yeah, it's really difficult. If you lose a spot, Andrew, I don't think you really should fight for a mid-corner because you're just going to be losing contact with the drivers ahead.
McNally is working here on Duncan Cope as they work through the kink. Roger Morton and Mark Oliver are having a spirited battle, though, for last place right now. Oliver just lost that spot into the carousel to Morton. And I think they're going to try and swap to try and make up as much time as they can to cars ahead just in case there's mistakes. And certainly they can catch Alistair Hatcher at the very least. I'm not sure what they can get beyond that, though, as McNally will go on by Duncan Cope now through Bill Mitchell Bend. He gets that spot. And now Delmont and McEwen, they're close together. They might battle up the front stretch here. Yes, McEwen going to have to stand idle while Delmont gets a really good run there at a 14. But the advantage here from the draft, that's certainly going the way of Andy currently.
Yeah, you can see the number 77 really got a good exit, but he has absolutely nothing to do with it. He's just side drafting the number 4, trying to get any sort of advantage, and you can see the fastest lap really swinging from driver to driver as the top 4, Andrew. They're pretty much in formation. The automan now being Nick Clibbins, obviously, but you can see further behind the number 4, trying to still hold that position from the number 77. They're going to go side by side through 1 and 2. And looks like Delmont might just have the advantage, and McEwen might even lose a position to Smith. No, he holds position for the time being, but that line, Andrew, it's not broken up again, so all of these drivers are still within a shot of that lead.
Douglas Stewart and Liam Stimpson are close together. They're actually tandeming further back here in the field, on board now with Stewart. We'll go to the inside of Stimpson. That was interesting. He braked and then went to the inside. I'm not really sure where he was going with that one, but you can see kind of what this looks like in a line of cars headed down to turn 5, all getting on the brakes there. I don't think he wants to pass Liam. I think I think he's trying to hold himself in line and just try and draft up. But sometimes you want to do that leapfrog. You want to swap spots on the straightaways and carry that momentum from that lead car that's able to draft by.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's just going to have to work on it and try to minimize the time loss, and you can see already looking down the inside, but quickly thinking better of it, and I think, well, just a quick blink over there, but that's going to be the story, Andrew. Just, how can I say this in English? Well, I don't know how to say in English, but you really have to pick your battles correctly and pick the time where you want to overtake, but you can see McEwen already losing a bit of contact to Delmont, and Andrew, I don't think after you lose that contact, if you lose the draft, if the drivers ahead don't back themselves off, I don't think you can catch them.
This is on board now with Craig Cockrell. It's going to be tough if you lose the draft at any point. If you lose the lead draft, it's going to be tough to make that time back up and catch anybody ahead of you, but we'll see if anybody is able to do that. tandems are going to be the way you try, as McEwen tries to hang on to that spot over Sam Smith, who took the left side into Canada corner. No advancement there for car 527. Sam Smith has been great lately. And, oh, he almost hung there on the left rear into Bill Mitchell Bend, but McEwen shuts the door. Now Sam Smith on the defensive from Adam Fox, and they sort that one out. You see some battling ahead from these guys. James Neve, Craig Cockrell for the 5th spot. Neve is a pro over here in the Mazdas, and I think he maybe should be a pro in the Pro-Am. Should be a pro in the touring cars. There we go, instead of a Pro-Am. You can see he's up here battling with the top guys even in the Miatas. 5th place at Road America. I think he's got enough draft to just hang on to Klibbins and those guys ahead, but 5-Star Motorsport definitely controlling this race currently, and there you go, through turn 1, he's able to make it the time up as Cooper went off in the dirt. I think, was that Lars or Casper that went off a little bit as well, and Nick just can't go anywhere.
Yeah, Nick cannot find a way past. Obviously, the teammates are working beautifully, and now Nick might actually have to defend from Neve just behind. That's a problem, Andrew, with running too close to the driver ahead. Sometimes you really cannot take the optimal line, but you can see how close everybody is. Casper DeCord's essentially pushing his teammate behind. You can see drivers still going at it, but yeah, it's really difficult. Look at Neve looking down the inside. He actually might make a move. Oh, that's dangerous. That could be contact, but it isn't. He's going to hold position, but look at behind him. That's, what, Cockrell and Delmont?
Yeah, Adam Delmont sitting behind these two. Cockrell turns in at 6, gets in front of Neve just barely. Good move there from Craig. And they're starting to get impatient back here. They want to go forward. They don't want to see the same cars up front as per usual. They want to move ahead of those guys. So Nick Klibbins, Craig Cockrell, James Neve, Adam Delmont, they have no alliances to the cars ahead. If anything, Klibbins, Cockrell, and Delmont could work together. They're all under the Excite banner, albeit different parts of the Excite banner. And even Sam Smith behind these guys, a second and a half back. If he were to catch these guys, that would mean 4 Excite cars in the top 8. That would all be in this line battling. We'll see if that happens. Smith does get the spot over McEwen. We saw a little while ago. Adam Fox there, Thortolo.
And you can already see a bit of separation between Delmont and Smith around, what, 1.8 seconds. And you can see the top 3 injured. The teammates are just going to be leapfrogging. So the battles we're looking for is right behind, well, these guys essentially. You can see Delmont, Neve, and Cockrell. They are going to go at it. And you can see Delmont looks like he's not going to be wasting any time. And that was close contact. He almost goes into the grass, and but he retains that position, albeit in 7th place. And yeah, this is going to be the race-long battle. The number 7 defending from the number 77, who's currently 7th place.
Honestly, Neve and Delmont just need to get in line. They just need to draft. They need to get all the time they can back up to Craig Cockrell, and see Delmont's not going to go to the inside. I don't think that's going to help them all. It's going to slow them down in turn 1. I don't know why you would do that, as Fisher now looks to the inside of Casper DeCourt. Nick Klibbin's going to try and fill that hole on the outside. He does that. Delmont, very aggressive into 1, gets on by James Neve. You can see the 5-star guys getting all mixed up. Casper now takes point. This is lap 5. 4 minutes, 20 to go. And now Jason Cooper gets the point through turn 3. So the teammates, their choreography is not where it needs to be, and it's hurting them, certainly. I think they could have pulled away by now if they had gotten it down. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's exactly why Delmont went down the inside. He knew those guys were probably going to go side by side and slow themselves down in a sort of part of the racetrack. And you can see a bit of contact. That was Nick Klibbins essentially pushing, well, who was that, Lars Fischer? And while he pushed him to the lead, as Cooper's going to have to go to the inside. And look at that. Klibbins going with Casper DeCourt side by side. This is for 3rd place. This is an important position right here, Andrew, because this could really upset the 5-star motorsport drivers. And they're going to go side by side still. Whoa! He's going to push Casper DeCourt. Casper's going to save his car, but he's going to be losing 1, maybe 2 spots in the process.
Loses those couple of spots now, trying to defend from Craig Cockrell, as Nick Klibbins is able to get on by for 3rd. Cockrell deep into 7. Or is that 8? That's turn 8. No advantage there, though. Adam Delmont just behind. And James Neve going to try and regroup. Sam Smith has caught this group. Andy McEwen, Adam Fox, they're all on a line now. You can see the entire top 10 and more all in the same picture. In fact, if we go back here to Liam Stimpson, is that where this line ends? Yeah, this is where this line ends. From 1st through 13th is only separated by 4 seconds, and they're all within this picture as we head down to Canada Corner.
That's crazy. A lot of positions are still up for grabs, and I'm pretty sure Andrew might be approaching 2 laps to go.
One to go this time.
Maybe just one to go. So there you go. This is going to be the last option for these guys. And obviously they bunched up at that perfect moment, because a lot of these drivers were going to have to go. And this, Andrew, is where I expect to see the best action of the day on the last few laps of the race. And you can see action throughout the field. Cooper is still in second place. He has a 3/10 of a second gap between him and his teammate. It should be enough for him to slingshot. But, well, a lot of things are going to happen, Andrew.
White flag is in the air, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. Cooper is going to duck out to the right side and try and make a move here on his teammate. That's going to bring Nick Clibbins. That's going to be dangerous to bring that 13 car to the inside of Lars Fischer. That moves Nick up into third. Oh, second as he gives a shot there to Jason Cooper. I think Jason stopped early to try and back him out of it. Wow.
That's a good strategy. Definitely defended his teammates as well. You can see now Dalman up to 4th place as he just passed Nick Clibbins. So unfortunately for Nick, his attack really did not work out. But look at the exit that Dalman has. He got a really good run, but I think he's going to be left out to dry, because the teammates, well, they're just going to be giving draft to each other, and Dalman's going to be forced to the outside lane. Now Cooper, is he going to challenge his teammate down into turn number 4? Yes, he will. He's going to look to the outside. You can see Casper the Court also looking on the inside. Who's going to come out ahead? Down into the braking zone. They all in line. Cooper's going to go the long way around the outside, and I think he has the momentum.
Delmont around the outside now through 5 into 6 will go up over the hill. Delmont on the outside of Casper the Court for 3rd. Jason Cooper. Oh! Casper almost gets into Delmont. He might have there as we get back single file now for turn 7. You can see the line behind these guys as well. And your Pro-Am leader is Craig Cockrell in this line, that light blue car at the back end of it. Second place in Pro-Am is battling right now with Andy McEwen for the next position in line. Your top 3 All-Pros, top 5 All-Pros, really. Your first amateur driver is Adam Fox down in 10th spot. The next amateur behind him is Duncan Cope in 15th. So there aren't many class battles outside of what we're looking at here in Pro. And if Sam Smith can ever get clear of this battle with Andy McEwen, he might have a shot on this last lap if anything happens ahead.
But he's going to go side by side through the kink, and the advantage will go to McEwen. And you can see Cooper's going to be forced to the outside. And there you go, the confirmation that McEwen moved up into 7th place. Now Lars Fischer goes down the inside, heading to Canada corner. Andrew Cooper may lose 2 spots actually around here. They go really close, almost touching. Dalman is trying to fight anyways. Or they're going to make a little bit of contact. This is going to open the door to Nick Clibbins to move up into 4th place.
Clibbins gets by Delmont for now. Can he do anything in 14? He's wide in 13, trying to stay in the power. He's not going to be able to get there for 14, though, for the braking zone. Dives way down to the inside, tries to get to Casper the Court. No dice, but he will have the spot over Delmont for now. So that's the battle for 4th. Here comes Craig Cockrell. Contact. Craig's going to lose the win. Lars Fischer is going to win in Pro over Jason Cooper and Casper the Court, but Sam Smith will go on by in Pro-Am to take the win in the last moments.
Wow, unbelievable. Nick Clibbins with a mistake on the final corner ended up taking the win from Cockrell. And you can see the rest of the top 10 making their way through. McEwen ended up dropping to 10th place, even though he gained 2 spots. So a mistake from him on his part on the final section of the racetrack. And, well, Adam Fox is going to win the amateur class, and Smith is going to win the Pro-Am. What a final lap.
There was a problem for Fox on the last lap, too. He lost all of his advantage down to Duncan Cope and barely won that class. There were tons of issues. You can see damaged cars coming to the line left and right. Tons of issues on that last lap. And it looks like Liam Silkstone will not finish this race. Mark Oliver is the last car to come on through, and he had that spin earlier on with Alistair Hatcher in turn 3. I believe that was on lap number 2. So Mark Oliver will end this race here in just a few moments, and Silkstone was nowhere to be found. He was on the lead lap. He started the final lap, but will not finish this race.
Crazy. That's the action that we're going to see plenty more today, Andrew. Wow. Wow. And this also means the whole field is going to be eligible for the invert, right?
Yes. So Liam Silkstone should still be eligible for our invert here in a few moments. Let's go ahead and bring that up, actually, and just get that out of the way now. We've got to go back and look at a lot of that action from that last lap and see what happened, at least in turn 13 through 14. So JP, we almost had it there. We almost had that full invert to start the day. I was waiting for it. I was watching it come down to the line there, but it's going to be a 19-car invert, and that only leaves 7 there at the back that aren't being touched. 20th through 26th. Those being Gulliford, Clark, Morton, Cockrell. Cockrell finished all the way down there in 23rd.
That's heartbreaking.
Come back into the sim. Let's go ahead and go through our race results first. Then we'll get some replays. And JP, here's your unofficial top 10.
So Lars Fischer ended up holding his teammate Jason Cooper to take the overall win on the first race of the day. Well done to the car number 96. Jason Cooper is going to finish second ahead of his teammate Casper DeCourt. So an all 5-star motorsport podium, Adam Delmon makes a comeback through the field to finish in 4th place ahead of Sam Smith, who ended up winning the Pro-Am class. Liam Stimson is going to finish just behind him to finish 2nd place on the Pro-Am class, 6th place overall. James Neve is going to finish in 7th, Thor Tulo in 8th, Michael Steele in 9th, and Andrew McEwen in 10th place.
Finishing in 11th, you will find car 78, Adam McNally. Adam Fox will go 12th, and it's Duncan Cope in 13th. That was your battle for the amateur win. It wasn't a battle until it was suddenly, and Fox nearly lost that win. Douglas Stewart hangs on to 14th spot. Nick Clibbins drops down to 15th after battling potentially for a race win. Craig Schill goes 16th. Glenn Humberstone, Fiona Siddons, and Ashley Stimson will be the final few cars that do get inverted out of all of this. Really incredible finishing there for a lot of these guys. Further back, you've got, let's see, Jamie Gulliford, yeah, finishes 20th spot there and will not get the invert, just ahead of guys like, well, you see here, James Clark, Roger Morton, Craig Cockrell, Alistair Hatcher, Mark Oliver, and Liam Silkstone. I've got to find out here, though, JP, what in the world happened to guys like Silkstone? He was not down there in 26th at the start of that last lap.
No, absolutely not. And obviously the questions are going to emerge, Andrew. Exactly what happened to him? Was it a mistake on his own? Was it a bit of contact that happened? Certainly something did happen, and well, we're gonna get it in it. We're gonna get our answer on our replay.
Well, you saw briefly there was actually the cooldown lap. This is the final lap. Jason Cooper, Casper DeCourt, Lars Fischer, all of these guys in a line. So we'll watch these guys go down through the kink here and to Canada Corner. Now at this point, Nick Clibbins, who finishes 15th at the end of it, he is back here in the 5th position watching. Oh, there's contact there. Casper getting into Lars. If we go to the TV camera, this should show us a lot of what happens. Lars Fischer makes some contact, I think. Maybe not. Maybe Jason Cooper. There's the contact with Adam Delmont. That sets up for all of this jumble. Adam Delmont falls back.
You can see Nick Clibbins. He's going to try to hold it around the outside. He gets a bit of the dirt. And then, unfortunately, on the last corner, he essentially just overshoots, trying to get a position. You can see how much speed he's carrying. He's just going to go wide. The car's going to bounce, and he's going to overcorrect the car. Oh, no, actually. He corrects the car, but difficult to see, actually.
Just gets over into Craig Cockrell there. And then there's a lot more that comes down to the line. McEwen had some kind of issue, I think. He fell back on that lap. He finished 10th. He was well ahead of 10th going into the final lap, I thought.
Yeah, he was in 7th, and with the 2 drivers that collided in front of him, he should have finished in 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So, something.
I think he has a problem at Canada Corner. Watch this.
Yeah, you can see he's leading the pack. He's currently in 7th place, the top 6 in front of him. And down in the braking zone, Andrew, I wonder if there's a touch that ends up pushing him a bit.
Oh, Adam Fox. What?
Oh, and then he gets spun around.
There's the contact from McNally, well, the issue for him anyways. That's why Adam Fox dropped all the way down. And Michael Seal, what a move there to go on by. So that's what happens to Adam Fox and sets all of this up. Let's go further back. Well, not further back, but let's go back one more time and watch this. Wow. Does he get hit? If that's just a move, I got nothing for it.
Let's just take a look at exactly what happened.
He just went up the inside. He missed his braking zone, went up the inside. That is silly.
Yeah, completely missed his braking point, carrying way too much speed. And obviously McEwen spun around and, well, essentially got spun back around to the right direction. This is Duncan Cope. You can see him making his way out of Canada Corner. And does he have an issue as well?
Well, you can see he runs right up to Adam Fox. I mean, this is how close he was to a win at the end. If Adam had been stopped for literally another half second, it would have been a battle at least to the line. separated by just under 7/10 when it came down to the checkered flag. You can see Nick Clibbins gets away from that damage. Cockrell stays parked there. I think Cockrell had too much damage to continue up the hill, and yeah, sure enough, that car is destroyed.
Really sad to see, and just so close to the line. We saw, I don't recall if you remember I think it was Opmo, where we saw drivers ending up with no fuel on the uphill. And now we saw drivers on the final lap again having troubles, but at least he's able to get his car to the finish line.
He is able to just get back to the line here. Craig Cockrell goes across in 23rd. But what happened to Liam Silkstone? That we still don't know, and we might have just found out. Well, we're about to find out. So Silkstone here on the outside of Jamie Gulliford. Contact, and he's in the wall. It's just that easy.
Well, there you go. That was pretty simple, and unfortunately, again, on the Canada corner has been the spot, hasn't it, Andrew? And unfortunately for him, he didn't get stuck, did he? He was able to get his car out.
No, he takes the tow. He finishes dead last.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I see now what happened. So, wow, that's even more heartbreaking from Leon. I thought he was the last car to finish under his own power.
He will take the tow. He'll finish dead last, and well, I think would have still been eligible for the invert, but isn't able to use the invert. Doesn't go all the way down to 26th for this race. So we will get the top 19 inverted and get ready for race number 2. If that's any indicator of what the action is going to be like the rest of the day, you've got to stay tuned in. There's going to be a whole lot more where that came from today and Thursday with the touring cars. Stick on with us here through a quick intermission. We've got race 2 on the way.
For those who competed decades ago, speeding down highways, through towns, country roads. For those who sat watching on the sides of the street, who found solace in chaos and thunderous speed. Even for those who grew up without the sights and the sounds, and live without race cars shaking the ground. Who don't understand why racing appeals to our fascination, wonder, and the way that we feel. A purpose-built place to camp and spend time with friends, watching racing together until darkness descends. Though no longer do the streets rumble and roar, there's a place just for this, a park to explore.
A road racing circuit before the assault. The 4 twisting, beautiful miles at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For 6 brutal, ear-shattering hours, its serenity will be violated by the raw power of screaming racing machines. It's the famed end-of-season endurance classic, the Road America 500. The specially constructed race circuit at Elkhart Lake at normal speed is a scenic 4-mile drive through fall-tinted Wisconsin countryside.
Hidden by forests near Elkhart Lake, not a path nor a trail, but a road meant to race. In a town too quiet.
While we unfortunately had to cut that just a little bit short, we do appreciate SimTV's effort there. A big shout out to Kyle Heyer for putting that together and allowing us to use it. We are ready for race number 2 here at Road America, and JP, race 1 was, as the kids might say, absolutely a banger, but race 2 could be just a little bit better. We've got a whole invert of 19 cars ready to go, and this is where things start to get mixed around. This is where I really think we'll see the 5-star cars get mixed up a little bit, and they might not rule the roost anymore.
No, I doubt they will, Andrew. Starting all the way back from 19th, 18th, and 17th, if I'm not mistaken, that's really going to cut their effort. And now we're going to see them really working as teammates or just going on their own, Andrew, because the red lights are on and, well, they have a little time to prepare.
Lars Fischer finally gets his first win on the season, and now race 2 underway, maybe waiting on it. There we go. Race 2 is underway here at Road America. 15 minutes, 6 laps. Let's go. A cleaner run to turn 1 so far. It looks like it will stay that way. Oh, a few cars off on exit, though. They get back over. I don't see any crashing. Maybe. I think we got through it. 3, 4 wide, maybe in the pack. Everybody heads down to turn 3.
It looks like everybody did it so safely. Obviously, you mentioned a few drivers taking the off-track excursion, but look at this, Andrew. The top 2 kind of breaking away, and then we have the whole pack of hungry race cars and race drivers trying to get a lot of positions, and well, they're all still very close. This is where we're going to see a lot of actions down into turn number 4. You can see the top 2 remain unchanged, but the back end, Andrew, this is where things are going to change quite a lot.
Through turn 5, nice and, well, somewhat orderly as we go up to turn 6. Oh, there we go, the first crash. Glenn Humberstone turned around before we get to turn 6. Everybody else comes through 6. Fiona Siddons, I don't see her anymore. She's already taken off. The leaders, Ashley Stimson and Fiona Siddons, are off and away by seconds already.
Yeah, this is really good for them. They really have to keep this pace up if they want to finish it. That you can see a few drivers still going. That's McEwen going down the inside for 3rd place. And it looks like whoever was in 3rd place before turns number 8, well, it's down into 5th already. But Andrew, these cars, well, they're going to be hungry. You can see Duncan Cope now, his rear view. You can see a lot of drivers going into the carousel. This is such a fun corner, yet so difficult.
Dortolo.
We have a car spun around just on the middle.
He gets hit by his teammate. Dortolo goes around, gets hit by Glenn Humberstone, and both of those cars are hurt. Alistair Hatcher also with issues. turned around before the kink, but we're headed down to Canada corner here. The leader is already into the corner. Andy McEwen with company here. Adam McNally follows.
And you can see these two are going to go at it. Do you think, Andrew, they're going to start working together already, or they're going to try to battle for track positions as the rest of the field? Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to be battling for track positions, and then maybe start thinking about really the top two back in.
Through the entire field, they'll work through turn 14. Stimson, our race leader, already up that hill trying to complete this first lap. And Ashley Stimson will do so from the lead. What a remarkable first lap. Inverted up to pole and is simply taken off of it.
Absolutely. Already a second gap, and you can see, Andrew, from Fiona Simmons to McNally, that gap, well, it's around 1.2, 1.3 seconds, but you can see back
that gap
here,
will close.
Oh, absolutely. I think it will, especially now that, well, McNally and McEwen might work together. You can see McEwen braking. You can see the brake light. So he's not eager to get a position back straight away. He's going to wait for the big straightaway, the back straightaway down into turn number 3. And
my
we have
goodness,
two
teammates
cars.
Again. Mark Oliver and Craig Schill. Go ahead and get a replay. Let's first go all the way back to the issue that we saw with Thortolo that lap. And let's just see this kind of all start, because 88 Tech has just had one of the worst starts to a race ever. So watch Thortolo. He's the outside car now on the left side. He's the left side 88 Tech car. Now on our right, he's got the blue mirrors. He's on the outside of that 5-star car of Jason Cooper, and he just simply runs wide. And then Glenn Humberstone, way back here, I don't know how he hits him, but he does.
Just really sad. I think you could tell he was trying to brake and then obviously turn, but yeah, at that point the front tires didn't have a lot of grip, and unfortunately he really hit his teammate quite hard actually. And we're gonna see now what happened to Craig Schill. This happened on the exit of turn 1, wasn't it, Andrew? Where we saw the two other drivers essentially spun around.
This is gonna be a bit of a lead up to us. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit in all of this and get down to turn 1. And watch this now for Craig Schill. The outside of Sam Smith falls in behind him here and just runs out wide.
Yep.
So easy to do. And then Mark Oliver comes through and does the exact same thing. Follows his tire tracks absolutely perfectly. I just, wow.
It's just such an easy mistake to do. It's just really unfortunate.
Oh, goodness. Adam McNally, tons of damage. We'll see when we come back here. He is destroyed on the left side wall there through Bill Mitchell Bend. I think there was contact with potentially Fiona Siddons, who is now down to the 11th spot. Andy McEwen, I'd imagine, involved as well. Let's go back and look at it. And this should allow us then to get back to live picture after this. But Adam McNally, Fiona Siddons, they had come close together. Come in here. This is out of the carousel. This will be able to lead up down to Canada corner. McNally working on second, which is Fiona. Goes to the left side there. I don't know where he was trying to go. That was a far too aggressive move for lap 2.
Yeah, way too aggressive. Trying to get the early track position. He's going to go side by side. Yeah, at least he does it safely. Down into the braking zone. Going side by side with Fiona. And you can see just, just on the exit. I can't tell if he moved over a little bit or Fiona moved over a bit too much. But, well, that's all she wrote, unfortunately, Andrew.
I think what we'll see here if we go to his onboard is that Fiona does kind of move over on him on the exit of Canada corner. Watch us one more time. This is from his onboard. It's so tough in a situation like this because, there's more curbing for him to run out on, but he's not trying to do so. Fiona comes over and just doesn't allow him to stay where he wants to stay. And that's just a really tough situation for both of those drivers to be in. I think Fiona, though, does need to stay further over to the right.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely share your thoughts. And unfortunately, McNally, well, that's going to be his race too, done and dusted early on, which is really unfortunate. He looked like he had a great pace, but looks
problems
like
for a leader.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we had a lead change. McEwen now leads, and you can see Stimson was leading, wasn't it? Ashley Stimson was leading, so unfortunately drops all the way down to 5th already.
Just lost that spot on this lap as well. Falls down to the 5th place, but still leading currently. And I just put together that it's Ashley Stimson and Liam Stimson it took me till now, seeing them in that order on the ticker there, to finally realize that they've got to be related. I wonder, now the name Ashley absolutely can be a male's name, and I don't want to assume anything or anything like that, but I wonder if potentially that could be like a husband-wife deal. That would be the coolest thing, I think, in sim racing, if that is. I have no clue. It could also be a brother and you know, two brothers. It could be a father-son. I don't know, but it is kind of, it could go either way, right? Being named Ashley, just saying.
Yeah, absolutely. And while they're gonna battle, we saw, Andrew, on NARL, the Scots coming together. I think it was only one occasion, actually, so I don't really want to know what happened in the debrief room, but if they are family, Andrew, I feel like this is the last person you want to make contact.
There's no way they're both Stimson, and they are.
it would be a massive coincidence, but, well, they're
and
really
on the same
battle.
team.
All right. But they could be in the same team because they have the same surname, see?
I like the stretch here as Clibbins and Cooper battle down to turn one, and Clibbins off in the dirt a little bit. I think Nick Clibbins a little frustrated with the 5-star motorsport cars. And I can understand. I don't want to get into who's right or who's wrong, as one car was way out there, Gulliford, with a heck of a save, if you saw that out in the distance in turns 1 and 2. And now a side-by-side here with Cockrell and Clark. Morton slides in behind him. Only 2 cars are stopped in this race. Those are Adam McNally and Craig Schill, both out of it. But everybody else continues on.
Yeah, and you can see this was Fiona Siddons losing a few spots. And look at this, Andrew. Less than a second separating the top 5 momentarily.
Oh,
so really
Stimson!
Stimson really goes deep down into turn number 4. And, wow, that was bold.
Big move there. Now you see the static shot through turn 6. And Duncan Cope is through to the 4th spot. Just ahead of Jason Cooper as well. Look at this view from the back end of Duncan Cope's machine. And there goes Cooper. Cope tries to defend. Oh, contact!
Oh, that could have ended very badly. Oh, it looks like
and
they're both gonna say, oh, it does. Oh, what a shame.
You know, I get a raise, but I mean, if you've got 300 points and everybody in the field, maybe cut a guy a break. That one's definitely my opinion. We had some different stuff happen at Sonoma last week, but that one I'll admit, definitely my opinion. We'll leave it there, I guess. But you know, if I have 300 points in the field, 8 wins in the season coming into round 5, I think I would cut Duncan Cope a break there. You know,
he went to my, yeah. I don't think he's gonna be cutting anybody a break, even though he has 300 points, even though he won just less than 50% of the races, actually. But you can see here a few extra positions, but Cooper's definitely not going to make it any easier on anybody. And yeah, it's interesting, Andrew. He should, but he doesn't have to, and I'm pretty sure he won. But you can see just how close this mid-pack is. Obviously, we're going to have a battle for the lead, but well, around here you can see Chris Knox making a few moves, and this is the first time we've seen he wasn't on race number 1, was he?
Correct. He did not race that first race. Comes in now for race number 2. And just ahead there of Nick Clibbins with that smashed up right front. And yeah, I'm not saying by any means that Jason can't race. That's not the impression that I want to give. But as far as the contact down to turn 7, I mean, you could lean back, you know, give the guy a corner. It is an amateur driver after all, and was leading an amateur, and now Duncan is second to Fiona Siddons. So, you know, a little give and take is nice, and certainly, you know, think about it this way. If Jason Cooper comes around to lap Duncan Cope now, Duncan might not be so keen to move over for him. So I'm just saying that kind of leniency goes both ways, especially when you've got completely different circumstances there. But anyways, they race on. James Neve pushes Andy McEwen on by Adam Delmont, and now we'll go with Andy as, oh, Adam just comes over all the way and almost makes contact. Thankfully doesn't. I don't think you could have put a paper between them.
Oh, and that was close as well. Yeah, that's really close, Andrew, and I'm loving this close racing. Obviously, that's bringing, unfortunately, for them, the number 1 really close, and you can see a few extra battles down here. This looks like it might just be outside of the top 10, or just in... No, this Gulliford and Stewart, wasn't it? Just going side by side.
Stewart's having big connection issues in this race. You can see him breaking out behind Jamie. I do want to mention the fact that, again, Fiona Siddons is leading currently an amateur in the 14th position. James Clark is closing in, though. And you've got to go a few cars back. It's that purple front end behind her that is, a few cars behind her that's Duncan Cope. But oh, Fiona runs wide there in 7. Duncan goes through 7, makes it through the corner. And now he's only got 1 car between he and Fiona Siddons for the race lead, and it's Liam Silkstone. As they work through the carousel at turn 9, Duncan uses that grass to rotate the car. Good move. Not sure if that was intentional, but it helps him out a little bit. Gets back on power and just chasing those cars ahead. Wants to get up there to Liam Silkstone and then to Fiona Siddons. And again, that would be for the amateur race lead.
And look at the run that he got out of the King. He's going to be really close, and he actually might challenge Silkstone into the braking zone, and that's going to be, well, you can see his competition just ahead of him. That's Fiona Siddons. That's the person he needs to overtake to win his class, and Fiona really overshoots the Canada corner, and Andrew, well, that's just how quickly, unfortunately, her race has taken it, I guess, on its head, has turned on its head.
Silkstone and Knox, they battle through 14. Oh, contact there, and Simpson, rather, not Silkstone. Liam Simpson goes off the dirt. Ashley Simpson will make a pass there, and the white flag is out for the entire field, presented by Whiplash Simcams. Those are your leaders, in fact. Delmont, McEwen, and Cooper. They'll go across the line, and they'll race down to turn number 1. They had some mix-ups that last lap into Canada corner. Now Cooper's got the race lead, and Delmont wants it back.
Cooper just made a beautiful bold move on the outside of turn number 1. Yeah, he's going to have to hold Delmont around, because Delmont's definitely going to be eager to get a position back. He's going to get a better line, Cooper is, and you can see that just slingshot, essentially just taking that race line, is really going to help him. You can see now on board of Neve, and McEwen is going to challenge Delmont, so Delmont is really going to be on the back foot around here. The number 4 is going to have the inside line, Andrew, and coming down to the braking zone, he's going to have the best option, and he just barely, he just couldn't really challenge Cooper, and you can see Delmont is going to try to go around the outside. They almost make contact, but Delmont goes wide, and now McEwen's going to have a shot at second place.
McEwen takes a look up the inside for turn 6, almost contact. That's how close it is at the apex there. My goodness. We don't use this camera view enough.
When moves are happening like that, Andrew, we definitely should. And you can see just the gap, how close it is between Cooper and Delmont. And Delmont's definitely going to be close. Andrew has a few extra overtaking opportunities. And you can see just behind Lars Fisher.
Wow.
Yeah, really making a move for 4th place on Neve. And he moves up to that position. And, wow, with a few extra spots to get a position, Andrew, this is going to be now or never for Delmont to get the race victory.
Delmont's got to do something here. McEwen might even be able to draft up to them by the end of the straightaway down into Canada corner. I think if you're McEwen, you've got to try and push Delmont through, right? You've got to try and at least keep Cooper from winning another race. And here goes Delmont to the left side now. Cooper's going to defend that right side. He's smart. He's going to defend the inside for the corner. And he's been parking on Apex as well. Delmont, though, is going to have the spot, I think, and try and move over. Cooper's still to the inside, stays there, battles down to the Apex, side by side, and McEwen's going to have a fair shot here. The top 3 battling through Bill Mitchell Bend for the final time in race 2.
Delmont's going to have a really good run on the inside corner right here. You can see Cooper just has a bumper on him, so Delmont really cannot close his door. They're going to go side by side through the final corner. Yeah,
that might help Andy. Here we go.
Oh, he dips the wheel into the grass on entry. This is going to be a drag race between 3 cars. Cooper's not able to defend. This is going to be close, Andrew, but I think the number 4 has got a good enough run. They're going to go side by side. It's 3 wide coming up to the line.
You're kidding me!
Yes!
Wow! What a move!
Incredible exit. Wow, really, wow.
He pitched the car just right back in turn 14 of the braking zone to get that run all the way up the hill, and I don't think he meant to. I don't think that was even intentional. The way he got the left rear in the grass, if you saw it, experienced drivers might have seen it. I'm not sure, casual viewers may not have. Just the way the car pitched into the corner, you could tell he put the left rear in the grass, and it just helped that car around.
Yeah, incredible. I was just going to mention that. That was a mistake on entry that ended up costing him the victory. Wow, and by 200ths of a second. And the gap between Cooper and Delmont, 100th of a second. Wow.
Now in Pro-Am, it's Ashley Simpson over Liam Simpson. In Am, going to go down to Duncan Cope, who it looks like does take the race win, the class win. Fiona Siddons several seconds behind. Then Alistair Hatcher in 22nd. Adam Fox comes across the line. Craig Schill and Mark Oliver out of the race. McNally and Schill are credited with positions ahead of Oliver, it looks like. And that is the final car across the line, Adam Fox. So let's go ahead and pull up our invert then here, JP, and mix this field about once more.
Let's do it. The first time around was 19. Second time around, Andrew, we're going to have 22, 17.
11?
17. There we go.
Yep. 17 drivers. You know who that puts on pole?
Fiona?
Siddons. You're getting good at this.
What? What a bad, that was a gamble right there. But Andrew McEwen, after a gamble in the final corner, he actually takes the win, Andrew. The number 4 is going to finish first. The number 1 is going to finish second. That's Jason Cooper. Adam Dalmond ended up leading, you can say, the entry of the final corner, but unfortunately is going to finish in third place, 300ths of a second behind first place. Lars Fischer is going to finish in fourth, ahead of Neve, and those 5 drivers finish on the same second. Ashley Stimson is going to win the Pro-Am class ahead of Leon Stimson in 7th place. Michael Seal is going to finish 8th. Douglas Stewart is going to finish 9th, and Jamie Gulliford in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, you'll find Nick Clibbins in car 13. A better result than race 1, but still leaving some to be hoped for, I think, in the rest of the day. Finishing 12th at Sam Smith in car 527, and Liam Silkstone there in car 594 in position 13. Duncan Cope wins in amateur, goes 14th place overall. Craig Cockrell there in 15th spot. Roger Morton 16th. Fiona Siddons 17th. That's the back end of your invert. So the front row for race number 3 will be Fiona Siddons and Roger Morton. Second row, Craig Cockrell and Duncan Cope. Then it's James Clark finishing 18th. Thornton 19th. And Glenn Humberstone makes up your top 20.
21st place goes to Alistair Hatcher. Chris Knox unfortunately finishes in 22nd, Andrew. Casper Decor is going to finish in 23rd, just ahead of Adam Fox. And Adam McNally, Mark Oliver, and Craig Schill is going to finish 25, 25th, 26th, and 27th, respectively. All of them 4 laps down.
So looking through race wins now this season, we've got a fancy schmancy spreadsheet that kind of keeps track of this stuff. Jason Cooper's got 8, which, I mean, it's just insane. We've run now 4 full rounds, 16, so 18 races, and he's won 8 of them. Then you've got Chris Knox, Andy McEwen, and Adam Delmont each with 2. Adam McNally, Casper DeCourt, Lars Fischer, and Paul Duncan each with 1. And that's just the overall race wins, but that's pretty impressive across the board. Let's go ahead and get a replay ready because we have got a driver to talk to here, JP. And since I usually talk to him, how about you bring in our race 2 overall race winner, driver of car 4, it's Andy McEwen.
Andy, what on earth just happened on the final corner?
For once in my life, everything went to plan. I just knew that Adam and Jason were going to not give away the win without a fight. And I had to be so patient on that last lap because I got to run a few times, and I didn't want to be in the lead until that last corner. And when they went in there side by side, that was just an absolute dream for me because they were so slow at the apex. I managed to get the exit, and I was amazed Jason didn't come over and block me, but he left the gap, and yeah, I just had enough momentum to get to the line.
Now, be honest, on the entry of the final corner, was that a small mistake, dipping a wheel and ended up like cutting a little bit of the grass on the entry on the apex?
Would you believe me if I told you it was intentional?
It was 100% planned.
It wasn't, no. I did want the wide line. Obviously, the wider I was on the entry, the quicker I'd be on the exit. But no, I didn't mean to go quite that wide. I've been doing that a few times tonight. But yeah, thankfully, they delayed each other enough. They had a little tiny door bang coming off the last corner. And if they hadn't had that little touch, I don't think I'd have got there because it was, what, 2/100ths of a second, I think. So that tiny bit of speed they lost on the exit, that's what won it me, really. But oh, yeah, made up. It's a long time since I won one of these MX-5 races, and certainly a long time since I beat Jason Cooper in a straight-up fight. So, yeah, I'm pretty pumped after that.
And I bet it has to feel good. But now on race number 3, you're going to start in 17th place, if I'm not mistaken. What is going to be the plan?
Same as the last one, really. Avoid the usual carnage on the first lap. The track was really low on grip for some reason at the start of that. The track temperature was higher than race 1, but I had 0 grip, and I think that's why you saw so many people sliding off early. I'm sure we'll have the same thing now. And hopefully I get as lucky as I did last time, because I probably should have been collected in a couple of incidents at the start of that one. I was lucky I avoided them, and if I can do the same now, then who knows, maybe another win's on the cards.
Well, absolutely, we're gonna keep an eye out for you. With that being said, I'm gonna wish you good luck for race number 3, and well, hopefully we can talk to you at the end of it.
Yeah, if it's half as fun as that one, then I'm going to enjoy it, that's for sure. See you later.
See you later. So Andrew, that was Andrew talking to me. Weird, but okay. But yeah, he was happy, and I feel like he should be, actually.
And watch this, what I'm talking about here to turn 14. You can just see, as he pitches in for the corner, he's going to clip a little bit of that grass on the left side, clips it right there, right before the curbing, and that turns the car around perfectly. It's just incredible what he was able to do right there in that particular moment. Might even be able to watch that from Lars Fischer perspective. Let's go ahead and back that up.
And you're going to be able to see that really rotated his car so much, he ended up cutting a little bit of the apex as well. So this win could have been even more, I guess, it wouldn't been as close if he got that apex perfectly, but you're going to see right here, Andrew, that dirt just being kicked up and the car essentially rotating a little bit. You can see the brake lights activate, and just around there you can see the car clips, kind of drifts its way, and now you're gonna see just how good it kind of rotated the car, even cutting a little bit. There we go. Oh, that was close. That could have also been a slowdown penalty.
Look at the marks he left there. A couple of skid marks through the corner. Perfect. Just absolutely perfect corner there for Andy McEwen. And this is the run up to the start-finish line. Let's watch this in real speed. This is the run as he gets to the right side there of Jason Cooper. The contact for Delmont and Cooper might have been what held them back. And to the line they went, and that is how close it all was across the line, like inaugural Daytona 500 style, where they all finish across the line 3 wide. That was perfect stuff. McEwen over Cooper over Delmont, separated by pretty even margins, actually. If we pull the results back up, JP, look at the results. It's 0.02, then 0.03. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely. 0.02 for second place, 0.03 for third place. Kind of oddly satisfying, I guess you can say, but I just hope Andrew race number 3 is going to be as good, if not better.
Absolutely. So as we get ready for race number 3, let's go ahead and remind you guys of the schedule for this season. If you've enjoyed tonight, I think you're going to have a lot more fun next week at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. I think Road America might give us some of the best finishes, but as far as some of the best races, we might have some really good ones next week, Canadian Tire, with probably some spills, I'd imagine, here and there. Watkins Glen is going to be a great draft battle as well. Road Atlanta will be fantastic. Daytona will be fantastic. We had the really, the short technical course of Knock Hill, and even Donington Park, you could say. Sonoma was a little bit shorter, a little more technical, but the rest of these tracks, all the way even through Sebring, there's a lot of drafting involved.
Yeah, absolutely. And this, I guess you can say, Andrew, is a bit of a warm-up for them, isn't it? Obviously, I feel like Daytona, we're going to see even more of this, but yeah, a lot of drafts happening. I feel like that's going to be a small trend throughout the rest of the championship. It looks like a small trend in the American road racing, isn't it?
Yeah, they just happened to pick the courses with a lot of straightaways, it seemed, I think, for one particular reason. They seem to like their drafting here in BSR. It is the National Park of Speed, here at Road America. Go ahead and stay with us for a quick break as we get ready for race number 3 on the afternoon. There's a whole lot more where this has all come from so far.
For those who competed decades ago, speeding down highways, through towns, country roads. For those who sat watching on the sides of the street, who found solace in chaos and thunderous speed. Even for those who grew up without the sights and the sounds, and live without race cars shaking the ground. Who don't understand why racing appeals to our fascination, wonder, and the way that we feel. A purpose-built place to camp and spend time with friends, watching racing together until darkness descends. Though no longer do the streets rumble and roar, there's a place just for this, a park to explore.
A road racing circuit before the assault. The 4 twisting, beautiful miles at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For 6 brutal, ear-shattering hours, its serenity will be violated by the raw power of screaming racing machines. It's the famed end-of-season endurance classic, the Road America 500. The specially constructed race circuit at Elkhart Lake at normal speed is a scenic 4-mile drive through fall-tinted Wisconsin countryside.
Hidden by forests near Elkhart Lake. Not a path nor a trail, but a road meant to race. In a town too quiet, the refuge we seek. Road America, the racetrack, the National Park of Speed.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home by combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Welcome back to the Virtual Road America as we get ready for race number 3 of round number 5. The BSR MX-5, gentlemen and ladies, and this has been a fantastic one so far, JP. Everything we could possibly ask for in a day of racing, I think. It has been simply, honestly, just about the best, just about perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been lots of fun, Andrew. It has been very exciting, coming up to the line, literally. And, well, we still get to do it again, which is absolutely amazing. Some drivers might love it, some drivers might hate it, but I'm pretty sure they're all having lots of fun.
On your front row, you've got Result Clothing teammates Fiona Siddons and Roger Morton from our, what was it, 17 car invert. We had 19, now 17. Then it's Greg Cockrell in the 3rd spot, Duncan Cope there in 4th. Starting 5th, you'll find Liam Silkstone, then Sam Smith. It's Nick Clibbins, Jamie Gulliford, then Douglas Stewart, and Michael Steele, your top 10. After our top 19 invert. Drivers that would have just won the race, sorry, top 17 invert. McEwen will start 17th, Cooper 16th, Delmont 15th, but red lights are on. That means green lights are on the way for race number 3 here at Road America, and we're off and away. Fiona Siddons leads through that first corner. To the field working on through. The wind has picked up. Look at the wind, JP. My goodness.
Yeah, really picking up quite a lot.
30
you can see
miles
30 miles. What?
That is the series admins having some fun with the weather. That's a lot of wind. Oh, no!
Oh!
Roger Morton in the wall hard.
Straight up, and we're gonna have a battle for the lead. That was in the middle. That wasn't even in the accident, so he must have had contact in the middle of the straightaway. But Fiona Siddons already having to go defensive down into turn number 4, and just as quickly, well, we have a change for the lead, Andrew, and you can see the rest of the field battling their way through turns number 4. Not a single car spun around just yet as we head into turn number 5.
Cockrell takes the lead through turn 6. Will go now down to turn 7. Look at the whole field snake on through here. This is going to be a fun shot as they work on down out of turn 7, down towards turn number 8. That's a cool look at the field.
That is a great look at the field.
Oh, we have knocks out in the dirt.
Wow, but he saves it beautifully.
Down over the Speedville Bridge. Now to the carousel for the first time. These static shots are a whole lot of fun each and every time we get to use them. And boy, you can see how the field is kind of mixing around. The exit of turn 9, the exit of the carousel, it narrows up pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot of runoff there. One car gets way out there. We've got a crash. Sam Smith, it sounds like, in trouble.
Oh, no.
With Duncan Cope.
Yeah, you can see those 2 cars, and you can see he's going to make his way just on the exit. Oh, we have an extra car right there, Andrew.
That is Mark Oliver. Down through and into Canada corner, though, Craig Cockrell leads over Fiona Siddons, Liam Silkstone, and others as they work through turn number 12. Nice and orderly.
Yeah, the rest of the field making their way nice and orderly, and you can see now the leader has already a decent gap on Fiona Siddons. And, well, she's currently in 2nd place, holding off, but looks like, Andrew, after the bad luck she encountered on race number 2 in the previous race, she might just be taking a little bit easier on this race, and you can already see not really going defensive. Yep, allowing those teammates to really work together, and maybe, Andrew, just working this close, they both might make their way through her down into turn number 1.
They should go on by. Clibbins pushing Silkstone. Definitely using that bump draft, and they should draft up to Craig Cockrell this lap of the next. As they're deep into turn 1, Fiona Siddons hanging on the outside for just a moment. That's going to hold Nick Clibbins back for the time being. So hanging on to the spot for now is Fiona, but as they go down to turn 3, things will change. And oh my goodness, a car on his lid, Liam Stimpson.
Wow, that was absolutely massive. That car has, wow.
Let's get a look back at it here.
That was just on the exit of turn number 1. Like we saw in the previous race, Andrew, but his was much, much bigger.
Let's watch this all build up. We'll fast forward on the front stretch at least and help some of the time go by. But this is how it all kind of sets up. This is into Canada corner for Liam Stimpson. Gets the apex there. He's chasing Jason Cooper. And the other car ahead there, I think, is Adam Fox. There's almost contact there. Might even be Ashley Simpson just ahead, and I think it is actually. It is Ashley. So this is down through 14. Ashley sticks in behind Jason. Liam gets moved out of the way. Who hit him there? That was James Neve. So then we'll fast forward down the front stretch a little bit, make some of this time go on by, and you'll really see some trouble here in a second. Neve has help from McEwen to go on by, and watch Liam Simpson down into turn 1. Takes a look at McEwen, thinks better of it. Now, just like Craig showed in the last race. Oh my goodness.
Oh. Yeah, he just hit the tire barrier just pretty much sideways, and that ended up shooting his car into the air. But you saw him taking a kind of a tighter line through turn number 1, and that just ended up pushing himself a bit too wide. But yeah, really unfortunate race ending incident for him. But look at this battle we have right here, Andrew. This is all still picking up. Fiona Siddons currently sitting in 10th place, so she lost what, 6 positions? And Ashley Simpson looks like just makes way through 10th place. And yeah, unfortunately Fiona really not being able to hold on this much, so maybe a little bit of lack of confidence after last race mistakes.
Other cars coming into this battle: McNally, DeCourt, Clark. The results this week. Now, race 1 was easy for these guys to keep things in order, but from here on out, the results going to be very, very much varied as Craig Cockrell leads over the hill. It's technically 3 Excite cars out front. You've got a Simtech Simtech Racing with Excite car out front. That's Craig Cockrell now with a purple lap. Then Gulliford goes faster, but Silkstone and Clivens are both properly Team Excite. And I think the Team Excite and Simtech Racing, they've got a different livery, so I'm not sure what that's going on there, but these 3 are all teammates out front. And Cliven's going to move over and block from Lars Fisher. Jamie Gulliford just behind these guys. Adam Delmont checks in at 6th. He's teammates with the top 3. Then Seal, McEwen, Cooper, and we've got a couple of crashes. Glenn Humberstone and Fiona Siddons.
Oh, just really unfortunate. I was looking at Fiona Siddons, and unfortunately I saw that car. Oh, we have even more trouble here. I saw 2 cars parked. So even more trouble down in the exit of turn 1. And this has been the hot spot.
Yes, it has. We'll see a battle from the blimp here. That is Douglas Stewart way on the inside, Casper DeCourt on the outside, Fiona Siddons with the pink trim a little further back. Stewart gets into Casper DeCourt there. They both go for a spin, so Casper has a spin there. That catches Adam Fox. Fiona Siddons trying to miss it, slows way down. She actually does miss it. Look at the carnage. Oh, and she gets Glenn Humberstone there at the end. Who came and flying into that? Somebody hit. That was Adam Fox, I think, that got hit. Somebody came flying in. Let's watch this one more time.
So you can see down into turn number 1, we have a lot of cars essentially going 3 wide, and that's normally not a good recipe to have, especially down here. And you can see Adam Fox just getting, you can see the contact up ahead. Adam almost misses it.
It's into the wall there, and somebody came flying in, I thought. Oh my god, I'm sorry. That's just, no. You gotta lift. I mean, you know what? It tears up his race. It ends his race pretty much. But I don't get it when you're so far at the back and you just don't lift for a crash happening ahead. But anyways, we've got 2 Excite cars now out front as Cockrell has fallen back a little bit. He is getting passed up. This is out of turn 14. McEwen goes on by. Cooper had a look. Now Seal has a look at, Cooper way out in the dirt. 3 wide will go. Oh, contact!
Oh, no!
They both get back onto the track. Yes, Seal!
Whoa, what a
jump! Looking like the Duke boys.
It looked like Speed Racer for a little bit, but he gets back on the race course. He's going to lose a lot of time, but at least he has his car. But, wow.
Let's take a quick replay on that one. So, watch the blue and orange, 57 here. Not sure which camera's best. Probably this. That's incredible. Just the way he held on to that over the jump like that. That is, let's get a better replay on that one on social media, I suppose. Liam Silkstone, though, battling up front with Nick Clibbins and the rest of our race leaders. And they will head down to turn 5 this time, under the Sargento Bridge there. Here comes Delmont.
Here comes Delmont. He's going to try to make a move maybe not this early on. He's going to get at least one spot, provisionally moving him up to 3rd place, and he might just have that spot secured on the exit, and it looks like he does. So now currently only 2 cars in front of him, Andrew, but you can see just behind, the battles are really picking up, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we have the whole top 7 within this league battle.
We do, all the way down through McEwen. The cream is still rising to the top. You're still getting Cooper and Fisher working their way through the field. McEwen as well. Delmont. Oh, and McEwen, a good catch there into turn 7. Caught the grass on entry and not in the right way this time. McNally and Clark are battling further back here, just outside the top 10, trailing Chris Knox and ahead of James Neve and Thor Tolo, and even Ashley Stimson and Casper DeCourt, who are very close into the carousel this time. What can Casper do here? Should Casper do anything, or should he try and push her? Or him? I don't know, actually, with Ashley yet.
Looks like just on the entry of the kink, he's not going to be close enough. But Andrew, this could be actually a good spot for him to catch some speed back, get some distance, really line up the kink. You can see him using quite a lot more grass on the entry. And well, here we go, a good enough run. Is he going to go to the inside or outside? The answer is the inside for Canada corner. And he should have this position settled on the braking point if he doesn't miss it. Does he hit the apex rightfully? Yes, he does. So there you go. He moves up a position. Now, Andrew, he has to punch the air, and that's really going to allow Stimson right behind to really try to, well, essentially get that position back on the straightaway. It's going to be really important to see what happens. But currently, Delmont really got the lead on that final part of the lap, and now he's going to have to defend from Nick Clibbins.
McEwen's going to have a run here on Lars Fisher, blinking a little bit, side by side with Lars. They'll go across the line here. Lars still has that spot for now, but that could change. Jason Cooper just went purple as he is in 5th, trailing these guys. Gets up to Gulliford before the braking zone for turn 1. Delmont through the lead. Clibbins in 2nd, Silkstone 3rd, and a few of them are off of the grass, Cooper included.
Yeah, but all of them managed to save. They're going to lose a little bit of time, but you can see 2nd and
McGulliford.
Looks like no. Oh yeah, McGulliford, that's going through. I completely misread it. So 3rd place for Gulliford. Silkstone is going to be dropping a position. That's going to fall him back into Cooper. So now Cooper's going to be on the outside, Andrew, and getting a little bit of slipstream from Gulliford. You can see further behind, that is Chris Knox and Cockrell going side by side. And Chris Knox, is he challenging Michael Seal down into turn number 5?
He's going to try. Our leader's into the 5th corner now. Gulliford on the outside of Cooper, who's going to take that spot back away, I'd imagine. And into turn 5, you see Knox has a spot over Seal. McNally's there. Cockrell goes wide. Another car goes wide. Gulliford and Cooper still battling side by side. And no, Cooper takes the spot now. And now it's Silkstone alongside car 599. This is for the Pro-Am win amidst all the pros.
It's a really good battle, and this is going to get interesting. Oh, McEwen really closing the door on Fisher. I'm not pretty sure if the 96 would be happy with that, but that was an aggressive move on the, well, 2nd to last lap of the race with 3 minutes to go, Andrew. And, well, they're desperately trying to hold off the pressure. And it looks like I have a car spun around. Oh, contact, actually.
2 cars stuck together there for a moment. Cockrell and Clark in turn 7. Let's get a look at it. Keep this as quick as we can. Turn 7 down, or sorry, yeah, from turn 7 down to turn 8. And Seal had gone off in the dirt. That kind of bunches them up. And into the corner, Cockrell, and he just makes some contact. I don't know if either car was at fault. They just made contact in the center of the corner.
Yeah, unfortunately. And you can see them just waiting it out to, well, get back to racing speed. But cutting back to live picture, you're going to see those battles once again. And Andrew coming up with only a few minutes to go. Yeah, we're coming up to the white flag. So this is all or nothing once again for these cars. And Delmont currently is the driver leading. Clibbins in 2nd, Cooper in 3rd. The drivers we have seen so far, and well, it's just a question of who's going to win.
This time, Cooper's got to do the passing. Clibbins and Delmont get to work against him. Clibbins trying to push Adam down the front stretch. It's just not enough. Cooper's got a big run here. He's going to take it, I think. Yes, he does. Down to turn 1. I can't blame him at all. Down to the inside. Cooper's got a big run. Can he get to Delmont? Not quite, but he's going to split the 2 teammates up.
Yeah, you can see he really got a good enough run. He could have dared to go for Delmont as well, but he was just happy to pass the number 13. And you can see now Clibbins is going to have to wait it out, maybe get a good enough exit, but he misses. He goes a little bit too deep mid-apex, and that's going to cost him a few tenths of a second. It's going to be between Cooper and Delmont on this time around, and you can see Silkstone and Gulliford, they're going to be battle for the Pro-Am lead. and a win as well for his class. And you can see now Gulliford trying to decide if he goes for a move this early on or he's gonna wait. Cooper meanwhile takes the lead, and you can see he's gonna try to close the door on Delmont. Delmont's gonna brave it out when they're braking. They're gonna go side by side through turn number 4. Cooper gets a good enough exit, but the number 77, is he still there? Not quite.
Cooper knows now that he's got the lead, sure, but Clibbins drops down to 4th. Really what Delmont knows here is that he's able to set up a move. Back into this lap now, he's able to set up the corners just right, and I don't know if it's going to happen out of turn 9, down through the kink and down to Canada Corner. That's certainly an opportunity, but that opens things up again in turn 14 like we saw with McEwen. So does Delmont want to bide his time? Does he want to go for this move as quickly as possible? That's what he's got to figure out now as they work through the carousel. You can see kind of there through the trees, and it's the top 2 clearing away. It is just these 2 right now as Silkstone, Clibbins, and Gulliford, they've all fallen back. Silkstone with that Pro-Am lead. You can see Fisher there, McEwen in this battle as well, but our top 2 breaking away. What are they going to do?
It's going to be really interesting to see if the move happens right here. You can see Delmont pushing Cooper, so I don't think he's going to try to make a move. He's going to be forced to the outside, just barely enough room for the number 77. He's going to edge out the number 1 on the braking zone. They're going to go side by side. A bit of contact under braking. Delmont is still on the outside. He kind of gets pushed, but still plenty of room. And Andrew, this is deja vu. This is what we had the last race. They're going to go side by side through this corner right here, the second to last corner. Cooper dips so well into the grass. Could Silkstone repeat what we saw? He's a bit too far back. You can see now Delmont backing away a little bit, trying to get a good enough exit. Is it enough?
That's going to be it. Jason Cooper with the run up the hill, and there's nothing that Adam Delmont can do now. I think he's going to kick himself for that one. Had opportunities, but isn't enough. He tries, but not quite. As Jason Cooper wins in Pro, Silkstone still keeps that Pro-Am win. And that's all she wrote for race 3.
Yeah, that was close. 33 thousandths of a second separate the top 2 once again. That was close. Unfortunately, the gamble that Delmont took on the final corner wasn't enough. Silkstone is going to end up finishing in 3rd place to win the Pro-Am class. Craig Schill is going to win the amateur class down in 15th. And Andrew, the good news is we get to do this all over again one more time.
And Jason Cooper keeps the run for exactly 50% of these races won alive. He can still win race number 4 today and keep that 50% streak going, as he gets win number 9 on the season, so he can still go for 10 out of 20. Your amateur winner, that does end up being Craig Schill, down to 15th, his first win on the day, I do believe. Craig Cockrell dropped down to 19th, Oliver down to 20th, Sam Smith will come across in 21st. There goes Sam Smith, the second car across the line there, as Duncan Cope was 1 lap down but finishes the race up now. Alistair Hatcher is the final one across the line. Let's go ahead and get our invert on the ready then, JP. The spinny wheel has been doing some overtime.
Absolutely. Now we're going to see what the number or the sentence is going to be, Andrew. It's not going to be full. Is it going to be 25?
That's effectively full.
Oh, yeah. We had 27 cars, if I'm not mistaken. But, yep, that's
and
a
they're
full
not all
on.
eligible. That is essentially full.
Wow. Here we go, to end on a high note. So 25 cars are going to be inverted. We had 27 racing, but I think it was only 22 that finished on the lead lap. But anyway, Jason Cooper, unfortunately, after winning the car number 1, finishing first, he's going to have to start all the way back and trying to do it all over again. Adam Delmont finishes 33 thousandths of a second behind Cooper to finish in 2nd place. Liam Silkstone is going to win the Pro-Am class in 3rd. Clibbin is going to finish in 4th ahead of McEwen. Lars Fisher in 6th place ahead of Jamie Gulliford. Chris Knox in 8th. Michael Seal in 9th. And James Neve in 10th place.
Finishing 11th, it's Casper DeCourt in car 5. Adam McNally goes 12th. 13th, you've got Thoratolo. 13th, Thoratolo. 14th, Ashley Stimson. 15th, Craig Schill with the amateur win. Then it's James Clark, Douglas Stewart, Fiona Siddons down through 18th, and Mark Oliver and Sam Smith come across in 19th and 20th.
21st place goes the way of Craig Cockrell. Alistair Hatcher is going to finish in 22nd. Now the question is, Andrew, will Duncan Cope be eligible? Because if yes, we're going to have 23 cars inverted. If not, only 22. Either way, Glenn Humberstone is going to finish in 24th, Adam Fox in 25th, Liam Stimson in 26th, and Roger Morton in 27th.
The 27 cars, it looks like 22, maybe 23 of them will be inverted for race number 4 to end things off. But finishing best of all the Pro-Am drivers, JP, one of our favorites to talk to after these races, Liam Silkstone.
So Liam, winning out race number 3 on your class, finishing on the overall podium, how fun is Road America?
Oh, I love it. The track's mega. But the entire time I'm at the front, I'm there going, I'm going to get this win. I'm doing it for you two in the com booth. Because you've always had it. You're saying I'm going to win, and I'm there. I'm going to have it. And I didn't. But I'm getting there. Getting closer.
Absolutely. And now with 25, essentially a full invert, it's going to be a bit more difficult to try and get the overall victory. But I feel like if there's one track which you could do it, it's Road American, isn't it?
Yeah, so I did well. We did a Monday night practice last night, and I qualified well. Decided to set off with the pit limiter, so I was at the back. But with the draft, you can get so many overtakes to get back to the front, so it's still anyone's, because Chris Knox managed to get from 27th to I think 4th in one race. So it's just proving the draft can pull you to the front.
Absolutely. And how do you judge which battles do you pick, where to overtake and where to hold back?
I would say you don't fight your teammates, but as you've just seen, I did, and I don't care. So it's one of them. It's you learn which drivers can do what, and at the end of the day, the Mazda in front of me is the car I want to beat. So you don't go for any silly moves, but you want to be in front of the car in front.
Well, absolutely. And very quickly, where do you think you finish on race number 4?
Not last. No, proper jinx that
go.
one. I'm going to go for top 10 somewhere, and I'll be happy with that. As long as I can finish top of the proms for the night, I'll be happy.
Very good, and you should be happy. Racing has been absolutely excellent, and with that being said, I'm going to wish you best of luck for race number 4, and hopefully we can talk to you then.
Yeah, if I've won, I'll come back.
Absolutely. Andrew, well, that was Liam Silkstone. Eager to let him come back. I'm not going to say anything because the commentators curse. You know how it happens, but, well, we're going to keep an eye out for you.
Thank you.
Oh, just cut him off, but yeah, you get the idea, right, Andrew? Hopefully, we didn't curse him.
Yeah, Liam Silkstone should have a good chance here by the end of race number 4 to at least go for another race win. Obviously, things could change. We've seen that happen before, but he's been pretty darn good today and should be in the mix for this 4th and final race at Road America. It's been a lot of fun so far through the afternoon, but let's make sure you know where to find us if for some reason you tune out after this one, you aren't fancying the racing, you want to just go ahead and change things up. Well, we've got more racing through the course of even today. Later this evening, 8:30 Eastern, it's the Red Bull Ring. That is in Spielberg, Austria, with the North American Racing League. We've already had GT3 cars there, JP, but it's time for Porsche Cup cars, and we're crowning a champion.
Absolutely, this is going to be the last race. It's going to be excellent, and definitely shouldn't miss it. Pretty sure all the drivers are going to be excited, and it's going to be a bit of a farewell to the Cup cars, obviously. And to keep it updated, and obviously to follow us live, you should follow us on each and every single social media. That was a lot of follow words. We're on Facebook.com/pitstoptv, Twitter.com/pitstoptv_, on Instagram.com/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube.com/pitstoptv1.
That will do it for race 3, but we've still got race 4 to go here at Pit Stop TV. We're not done with the British Sim Racers just yet, at least not for today, and of course we're back here on Thursday with the touring cars, but one more race to go before we close things down for BSR today. We've still got a whole lot of racing to figure out, a whole lot of racing to watch, and certainly a lot more points that are going to get jumbled up in a whole big surf line. Let's get ready for race 4. We'll be right back to you in just a few moments from the virtual Road America.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound Art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound Art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
For those who competed decades ago, speeding down highways, through towns, country roads. For those who sat watching on the sides of the street, who found solace in chaos and thunderous speed. Even for those who grew up without the sights and the sounds, and live without race cars shaking the ground. Who don't understand why racing appeals to our fascination, wonder, and the way that we feel. A purpose-built place to camp and spend time with friends, watching racing together until darkness descends. Though no longer do the streets rumble and roar, there's a place just for this, a park to explore.
A road racing circuit before the assault. The 4 twisting, beautiful miles at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For 6 brutal, ear-shattering hours, its serenity will be violated by the raw power of screaming racing machines. It's the famed end-of-season endurance classic, the Road America 500. The specially constructed race circuit at Elkhart Lake at normal speed is a scenic 4-mile drive through fall-tinted Wisconsin countryside.
Hidden by forests near Elkhart Lake, not a path nor a trail, but a road meant to race. In a town too quiet, the refuge we seek, Road America, the racetrack, the national park of speed.
Welcome back to the virtual Road America at Elkhart Lake. 3 races in the books, JP. That's what we've had so far, and it's been a lot of fun each and every step of the way. 15 minutes apiece, and they have been thrilling for each of those 15 minutes. Certainly some of the best racing we've seen out of BSR in some time, and now we get to do it under a Wisconsin sunset. This is a pretty cool backdrop.
It's a beautiful backdrop, and this is something we're used to seeing, not only great racing, but amazing backdrops as well. And as you mentioned, this is the final race of the day, the final opportunity for these drivers to get some points, to overtake. And yeah, it's the final challenge, Andrew. Road America has been very challenging, but has given each and every single driver the opportunity to not only be at the front, but trying to hold their position and even challenge for the win.
This is, of course, the track map here for Road America. If you don't know, it's large. I know it doesn't look like... See, it almost looks like a karting track, so it looks like it wouldn't be that big, but it's over 4 miles. So you're working at, you know, for a qualifying run, you need over 8 miles of fuel. That is a long time, especially when you're full throttle for so long. When you exit turn 14, it is throttle down. You don't lift again until very close to turn 1. It is back in the power until very close to turn 3. Back in the power all the way down, very close to turn 5, especially in these Miatas. Very short braking zones. It's just a lot of on-throttle time. You're flat through the kink. You're, I think, about flat through turn 7. You're working the throttle through 9 and 10 through the carousel. You're flat through 11 through the kink. You're flat, I think, through Bill Mitchell Bend. There's just so much on-throttle time here. You burn a lot of fuel, so you've got to be careful even in qualifying. We saw that with a few drivers putting, I think, a little extra fuel in. And now in these races, JP, you're trying to maximize that on-throttle time. The smallest of things can change that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just trying to, as you mentioned, maximize that on-throttle time, trying to maximize each and every single move to make sure they lose little time as possible, because being open throttle and being flat out for so long, obviously, if you just lose 1 second battling, that's really going to cost you, and the chance of you catching the driver ahead is going to be really, really difficult. So it's a challenge that they have learned. They definitely practiced for it, and obviously if they didn't, they're obviously learning kind of the hard way on racing. But on the final race, Andrew, everybody should have it all toned out, and we're gonna have to wait and see who does the best.
Headlights are on as we get ready for race number 3, and you can see front and not quite center. It is your pole sitter for race number 4 via the, what was it, 22, 25 car invert, something around there. I think it was 22 after a couple of cars were disqualified from the invert because they were laps down. Glenn Humberstone on pole, Alistair Hatch will roll off second, then it's Greg Cockrell third, Sam Smith fourth, and Mark Oliver your top 5. Red lights are on, so green lights and a green flag are on the way one more time today. Watch Barney the flagman high up on his perch, wait for the right moment to wave that red or green flag, and we are off and away. Braking zones. They're all... Oh, one car already off. Nick Clibbins. Out in the dirt. He's going to save it. Just barely.
Just barely is able to save it. No damage, it looks like. And you can see the rest of the field making their way through turns number 3. We have a lot of side-by-side action. One more car going really wide. Looks like he's going to be able to save it.
That was Humberstone, our pole sitter.
Yes, just able to save it. Oh, and we're going to have a car spun around. But you can see Andrew battle for the lead teammates.
Clibbins spun again there, but that was Humberstone, our pole sitter, that went off in turn 3. And here we go, down to turn 5. Cockrell and Hatch up front in contact. Clark and another are involved.
No,
Ashley Simpson, the other car.
Oh, really unfortunate to see that happening, but looks like they were the only 2 involved as the rest of the field makes their way up into turn number 5.
Oh, and, Jason Cooper goes around.
Oh, no.
No, that was Casper DeCourt, actually. Casper DeCourt around there in turn 6. He'll drop down to 23rd. Oh, my goodness. One of the more chaotic starts we've had today, certainly.
Absolutely. I guess the most chaotic one we've had. Oh, even more incidents on the exit.
That's Craig Schill this time. Andy McEwen slow as well. We've got a roadblock back here, I think. Oh, my goodness. Multiple cars, several cars involved back here. Another car off in the dirt in the carousel. This is a demolition derby, not a race.
This is survival of the fittest, looks like. Whoever can survive is going to win, but you can see a lot of cars having an issue. A lot of cars back on the pit lane already. That's going to be their day of racing done and dusted. But yeah, now we're going to have a lot of separation, and the racing is going to be contained in packs now.
That changes everything here for the last race of the day. Your top 4 are all Pro-Am and Am, and there are a couple of teammate pairs, actually, as they work on through Bill Mitchell Bend. It is Sam Smith and Craig Cockrell leading, then Alistair Hatcher and Mark Oliver third and fourth, Michael Seal is fifth, Jamie Gulliford now with problems. We're going to replay of as much of this as we can from lap number 1 once these guys completed it. Wow.
Wow, indeed. I think that's the only word that's going to summarize lap number 1. You can see a few extra battles just on the edge of your screen as they head uphill into the start-finish line. But yeah, Andrew, how many cars were involved overall? You can see a few extra cars already darting into the pit lane, so maybe even more damage for them. But wow, indeed.
As Liam Stimson headed into the pit lane. Let's go back now with already 3 minutes elapsed in this race and get a look at what happened here on this opening lap. We saw the issue with Clibbins, and that's kind of where it started. Then this all happens. Ashley Stimson with her issue. We'll go back up front. I know McEwen is involved in this, so we'll start. Oh, that's where Casper the Court goes off. Let's see McEwen at least involved in this big deal. This is what really gets me. Contact there, just ahead of him. Seal and McNally. Oh, so Craig Schill spun in front of these guys, and there was just nowhere to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just everybody was so bunched up, and that's such a difficult spot because it's so tight. You don't really expect a car to spin around, and I'm pretty sure he did it on his own, wasn't it? I don't think there was any help.
You'd be correct there. This is down to turn 3. Let's watch the issue for Casper the Court. That is rather important here. With as big of a deal as he is in this series, it's pretty important actually to see what happens here to car 5. Battling with Michael Seal goes to the right side of the racetrack. Now Mark Oliver and Douglas Stewart have had issues. Alistair Hatcher is still third, so that's all live. Let's watch this, though. Casper the Court down to turn 5. This is the opening lap.
You can see him on the outside.
So there was the issue with Stimson and Clark at the very bottom of the screen.
Yeah, they both are going to get back racing. You can see their Casper the Court still on the outside. He gets a good enough run.
Ah, I see it starting, I think. Yeah, Seal goes up the inside. McNally there as well. Casper didn't quite know yet. James makes contact. Wow.
And Casper may have just avoided all of the instances ahead by, well, getting that small contact.
Yeah, Casper's through to 11th with live coverage, now 10th. So we'll see that here in a second. This is what happens to Craig Schill.
Oh, it just carries a bit too much speed. He was already loose mid-corner, and then this is just everybody's just attempting to essentially get away. You can see Cooper being spun around, and yeah, a lot of cars just being involved. Really, really unfortunate to see.
Crazy stuff that first lap. Let's go back live now. Now that we've used a few more minutes, this is live picture. Casper the Court is back in the top 10. Alistair Hatcher, your top amateur driver, is well ahead of Adam McNally. We might even hold this 3-car breakaway. You see Delmont is battling with McNally, so they are close. They battling, likely trying to work together as they've got Michael Seal there. Michael Seal, if he's able to battle with them, could keep them from catching Alistair Hatcher and the cars ahead.
They're just going to have to keep an eye out to see exactly what's going to happen. And, yeah, it's just going to be trying. And James Clark, actually, Andrew, I was just looking at it. After being spun around on the exit of turn number 4, well, he's already up into 8th place. So, good. I don't know what the name it is in English, but, you know, a bad thing turned out to be actually maybe a life-saving.
Blessing in disguise.
A blessing in disguise. There we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. And, yep, he's currently sitting in 8th place. Delmont makes his way through McNally. And, yeah, he's up into 4th place currently. Well, really catching up to Hatcher ahead.
I think Sam Smith and Craig Cockrell could be safe, but Alistair Hatcher will definitely be caught by these 2 Excite cars. It's going to be close for the 2 Pro-Ams ahead. And, of course, Delmont and McNally are teammates of Smith and Cockrell, so do they even try and push to get there? Do they just try and push to get to Alistair? That's a good question. Casper the Court, James Neve, they fight through turn 7 there. Fiona Siddons in 11th. Drivers out of this race, they are piling up. Mark Oliver, Douglas Stewart, Jamie Gulliford, Andy McEwen, Nick Clibbins, Liam Silkstone.
a lot of cars, well, out of the race already, and you can see this battle right here. These are teammates as well, isn't it, Andrew? Glenn Humberstone and Craig Schill. They're currently battling just outside of the top 20 for 15th place currently. And ahead, we're going to have a few cars action, and that's Alistair Hatcher losing 3rd place, almost losing the car, but being able to save it. And Delmon and McNally still working together, Andrew, with 4 seconds of a gap. I feel like this battle for the lead is still very much on if they work together, and you can see they're kind of getting a little bit racy, but yeah, I feel like with 7 minutes to go, we can definitely see something like that happening.
It's going to take a lot in just 7 minutes to make up 4 seconds. Smith and Cockrell have been fast all day. Smith especially, I think, even more so than Cockrell has been. He's had a great car underneath him in car 527. He has been fantastic. Just hasn't been able to put the finishes together that I think he's wanted, so he will lead another one here across the start-finish line. Cockrell second. You'll see the entire field come on by and Barney the flagman as he watches over. Wow, sealed purple. 2:31.577. So our leaders still close together. Those are teammates. Cooper goes purple that lap. He's in 14th. Humberstone and Schill close together. They're trying to work together, I think. Oh, they're side by side, actually. Stimson is with Fiona Siddons. This is 11th and 12th. Roger Morton close behind. But what a drastic turn this race has taken from the previous 3.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a crazy, crazy turn of events. It's turning out to be an interesting battle as well, dare I say. But you can see these 3, Andrew, they're going to go at it. It looks like they're catching up the drivers ahead, but they're not afraid to battle. Yeah, it was just, well, 3/10 of a second they caught up. So do they take this time to battle amongst each other and have maybe a little bit of fun doing so? Or do they just focus ahead and trying to, well, just hot lap it and trying to catch the 4-second gap with 6 minutes to go?
I think Smith and Cockrell are doing everything they need to do. I think they've got this race, them two, in the bag in some order. Morton and Siddons are battling further back as they exit turn 6. They're just ahead of Jason Cooper, who, as we've seen, is not very patient. So he's going to have to find a way by these 2 result clothing cars without making too much of a mess of this battle. Morton on the inside for 8, takes the spot away, and Cooper will follow on by. Fiona Siddons tries to go left. There's no gap there yet. Now he could stride, and he will. Not going to work.
Enough grip.
He's trying, though. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's absolutely wheeling that MX-5, trying to make it work, and you can see now he's going to have the inside of the kink, and that should be position done and dusted. Fiona actually might benefit a little bit from that as teammates. Did they switch up positions?
No, Sam's still leading, but I'll admit, Delmont's starting to close in. Grabbed an extra few tenths the back end of this lap. Still, though, inside of 5 minutes to go, 3.5 seconds. That's a lot to ask for. The delta they're looking for to Craig Cockrell is about a second. That's where the draft is strongest, inside of a second. So if he can get to a delta of about 1.3 seconds as things stand, he could sniff the draft, and he could catch up to Sam Smith and Craig Cockrell. But they've still got 3 seconds to get to that point. So still, they've got to make up 3 seconds in just 4.5 minutes.
And that's just 2 laps to go, isn't it? That's 1.5 seconds per lap.
Yes, we just took 2 laps to go.
So yeah, it's gonna be difficult, not impossible, but definitely difficult. We're just gonna have to wait and see what they can do. They definitely need laps like Casper DeCourt just had, you know, putting out purple sectors and purple laps. Just a few tenths of a difference between them?
Well, no, they've gained another few tenths. They're inside of 3 seconds now. They're starting to close in. They're doing what they need to do.
And I wonder, Andrew, if the pressure is starting to settle in Smith and Cockrell. They could be looking at that gap and seeing them closing in 10th by 10th, and especially with bumps like this is really going to help them out. It could be the pressure settling in, and a few mistakes are going to happen here and there. They're just going to be building up.
Still trying to close in on those cars ahead. Not a whole lot else happening, although Casper DeCourt is moving up through the field a little bit, so I'll give it to him there. He's up to 7th now, ahead of Alistair Hatcher, who's dropped into 8th. James Neve, James Clark make up the top 10 as Chris Knox leads this group of 5 cars back here. Ashley Stimson is close to Jason Cooper. Has gotten by, actually is just ahead, has just been passed by Jason Cooper, is still ahead of Roger Morton and Fiona Siddons. Craig Schill, Glenn Humberstone, they will battle through turn 6. Ortullo still on the racetrack, albeit 52 seconds behind our race leader. So, Back up front, Delmont still working on closing in. He's been doing so. He's made up a second of what they've needed from a lap ago.
He's definitely closing up. You can see the gap 2.1 seconds to Cockrell. He needs that gap to around 1.3 to just get a little bit of the slipstream of the draft. So he's closing in, Andrew. 1 second still to be found, but time is running out. They're doing everything they can to try and close that gap, and they still are going to need to pass. And they're battling up ahead. They just switched positions.
I think that's good, though. Swap those two spots. Let Cockrell's momentum go on by. Conserve that momentum. Conserve that speed that he built up on that straightaway. And now Sam Smith can do the same thing into turn one. That is exactly what those guys ahead should do. Good move there from them. They saved maybe a couple of tenths by doing so. And now Smith, again, out of turn 14 here, can use this run up the front stretch. And I noticed out of the carousel that time, Cockrell pulled a ton on Delmont. Delmont, with the full brunt of that air, is leading that draft. Cockrell had the draft, was behind Smith, and was able to pull time. And so same thing here again. Smith able to pull a few tenths on Delmont on this front stretch. Fantastic stuff from these teammates up front.
They're going to have to work really hard. Obviously, the final lap of the race, Andrew, they just need to hit their marks, I feel like. No mistakes, and that should be exactly what they need. Cockrell with a small mistake on the exit of one. These two running absolutely tandem. It's almost like they have a metal bar between the cars, and one is just following the other. It's pinpoint perfect, just like we saw from the 5-star motorsport drivers on race number 1. And that gap is really coming down.
Alistair Hatcher, James Clark, they will do battle down to turn 3, it looks like. Clark taking the spot. Alistair down to 10th, still leading in amateur. As teammates up front swap again, they've still got 1.8 seconds back to third. As Smith will take point through turn 5. Cockrell now in second. McNally and Delmont swap spots. McNally at the inside. They've caught on to something here maybe, or they're starting to race. This is going to pull them out of the battle for the win.
Maybe they just won the final stop of the podium, and, well, this could really cause them because, well, Michael Seal is right there. He could essentially get this position. And, yeah, all that hard work they've done on the previous laps, it's all going to go away. McNally almost threw the race away with a small mistake. And, yeah, the battle for the lead is just between the teammates. This is a battle for the podium right here. Delmont, McNally, and Seal.
And with Donkin's promotion later in the season, his Pro-Am win really isn't even a Pro-Am win anymore. This would be our first Pro-Am win of the season and on the listing. This is huge for Sam Smith and Craig Cockrell. No matter which of these two drivers wins this race, this is the first one that we will have now on the list. Remember, Paul Donkin got moved up just a few races into the season, so this is big for these two as they'll go down through, well, into Canada Corner this time. Cockrell in second, Sam Smith leading. How aggressive does Cockrell get here? Sits back. He's going to try something out of 14.
Yeah, he's going to have to. That's going to be his last shot. He goes a bit cautiously through Canada Corner. That's going to set him back a few tenths of a second, but this could be the gap he needs. He just needs to kind of pressure his teammate to maybe just overdrive the corner a little bit. Not enough to essentially spin him around, but this is going to be his last chance, Andrew. Sam Smith, does he take a beautiful line? Yes, he does. That may just be enough, and I think it is.
And on the white flag, presented by Whiplash Simcams, teammates play nice and will come home 1-2. Sam Smith, Craig Cockrell, winners in race 4. We'll call them winners. That is a joint effort. Adam Delmont will come across and, oh my goodness, just barely take the pro win over Michael Seal. Your amateur win, though, of course, will go the way of Alistair Hatcher. A good win there, and he almost gets 9th.
Almost. Andrew, the gap between Delmont and Seal, 0.006 of a second.
Wow. There's only 14 1,000ths of a second between Clark and Hatcher.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely crazy the gaps we've had. And, yeah, Hatcher is going to win the amateur class. Smith is going to win the Pro-Am class. Delmont's going to finish third and win the Pro class. Wow.
Big stuff there for Sam Smith. And, you know, again, they're under the Excite banner right with Delmont and McNally here, so they've got reason to celebrate. The whole 4 of them that finished in the top 5 there. Michael Steele kind of breaking them up a little bit, but all 4 of them have plenty of reason to be happy. I think race 1 definitely was controlled by 5-Star Motorsport, but after that, it was all Excite energy.
Absolutely, and yeah, I mean, teammates, I feel like, Andrew, I feel like today, I'm not pretty sure if you agree with me, this was, I guess, the best showing we've had of teammates working together. We had battles between them, but pretty much all teammates were really working together for the last lap, for the final few meters to try and get the best result possible, which is really nice to see.
Liam Simpson, the final car to finish this race, and that is it. All 25 cars are either DNF'd, will not finish the race, or have finished this race. Let's go ahead and bring up our unofficial race results then from race number 4. JP, here's a look at the top 10.
And Sam Smith wins the overall race, winning as well with it the Pro-Am class ahead of his teammate Craig Cockrell in second place. Adam Delman is going to finish in third place, 0.06 of a second ahead of Michael Seal. Adam McNally is going to finish in fifth ahead of Casper DeCourt. Chris Knox in seventh ahead of James Neve. James Clark in ninth. And Alistair Hatcher in 10th place, winning the amateur class.
Finishing 11th, it is Jason Cooper in car 1. Does not keep the 50% streak alive. Won race 3, but does not win race number 4, so his total will stay at 9 now of 20. Not quite what he wanted there. Ashley Stimson, though, will go 12th, Roger Morton 13th, and Craig Schill in the 14th spot is not enough to beat his teammate to the line for the amateur win, as Hatcher got that. 15th, you got Fiona Siddons, then it's Glenn Humberstone, Thor Tullo, Liam Stimson, Lars Fisher, and Mark Oliver down through 20th position.
21st place will go the ways of Douglas Stewart, Jamie Gulliford in 22nd ahead of Nick Clibbins, Andrew McEwen in 24th, and Liam Silkstone in 25th place.
Properly good day here for Sam Smith. I'm really happy that we just had Sam Smith come on through for a Pro-Am win. That is very cool to see. You don't get that very often anymore. It seems like, at least in these Miatas, we've had that a bit more in the touring cars, but that is very cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's excellent to see, and I feel like he should really be happy with his performance today, and I guarantee you, Andrew, actually, he will be.
We do have one driver at least standing alongside here, JP, and it's Fiona Siddons. Somebody we talk to every week, it seems like. Always eager to talk to us here after these races. Car 927 out on the racetrack, usually just minding her own P's and Q's, ends up being involved in somebody else's mess, and always so happy to talk to us. Here she is.
So, Fiona, unfortunately, racing, I guess the results weren't really there. We saw you being quite cautious, but still, unfortunately, a few mistakes ended up happening. Talk us through your day.
It's been a mixed day. Race 2, I think I'm going to get a DSQ from that one. I thought I'd got past Adam McNally and moved out, and he was still there. So, apologies, Adam, on the stream here. So.
And, well, you go ahead, please, finish.
Yeah, because on the front row with my teammate, there must be something about teammates on the front row. That's the second time I've had contact with a teammate when I've been on the front row with them.
So you got the commentator's curse, and it looks like the teammates' curse on the front row as well, so quite a lot going against you, but it looked like you were being a little bit cautious. Was that a case, just trying to get the car into the finish line, trying to avoid incidents?
Yeah, I think try and get 4 results every week between now and the end of the season to try and get into the top 3 in championship again.
And expectations, do you consider this a good practice for Thursday?
The cars are totally different, but yeah, it's still good practice. Any time on track, you get more ideas and things for it.
And well, that's about it. You know, the day wasn't really there, but we could see being cautious and trying to get those results. Hopefully on Thursday things are gonna shake up better for you, Fiona. Yeah, hopefully we can talk to you then. Hopefully the luck is gonna swing back on your side.
Yeah, hopefully. The AM Class Touring Car Championships what main focus is this season. I have to say, your advert for Road America, it's brilliant.
I feel like that is gonna go to Andrew, but yeah, Fiona, hopefully we can talk to you on Thursday, and I'll see you then.
Yeah, see you later.
So Andrew, that was Fiona Siddons. And yeah, unfortunately, as we mentioned, I guess you could say, it was bad luck and being cautious. Unfortunately, not the greatest results, but, well, finished the races, got a few points, and that's sometimes all that counts.
I definitely have to direct those kind words regarding the Road America sequence that we've got, the kind of poetic reading there to Kyle Heyer and Sim TV. A big shout out to them for their efforts and allowing us to use that each time we have a Road America broadcast here at Pit Stop TV. It really is a really cool piece, and just being able to have that each time and tell a little bit of a story about each, well, at least the track each time we come here. It is really, really cool. We'll play that one more time here at the back end of the broadcast in case you haven't caught that just yet. Now, Fiona Siddons did finish just behind another amateur competitor in Craig Schill. And Craig Schill seems to be the only other driver that wants to come talk to us after the race. Craig, it was definitely an up and down day. We saw the bit of a mistake, the bit of a spill you had there out of turn number 1 at one point. How'd your day go from your point of view, though?
I was having a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. I could not get the setup right. I don't know what it was. Something changed between the 2-hour practice and the racing. I just couldn't keep the tail of the car where I wanted it.
And of course, we don't see a whole lot of the setup parts. I mean, it's only 15 minutes of racing each time. We don't get a whole lot of time to delve into technicals like that. What exactly are the challenges trying to dial in these setups, especially track to track as things change?
You can either go for like the same setup, just one setup fits all, which with the Mazdas there's not a lot you can change on them. Or you could, some people run a negative toe-in on the back to make it turn in. I prefer a little bit more of a stable back of the car, just to accommodate my racing style. But yeah, if you only got to get one little thing wrong, and it just for some reason throws it all out of whack.
So when you are having those issues as far as the setup goes, how do you try and, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to think of? I guess, how do you try and make up for that? With the steering wheel between your hands, already in the race, what are you trying to do as a driver to try and make up for that?
For me personally, it comes down to I might back off for a couple of laps and just try and refocus on what I'm doing, and maybe change my throttle inputs and my braking points a little bit, just to try and accommodate for if the car's a little bit skittish. But yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I prefer the TCRs, I'm not gonna lie.
So how do you think Thursday will go here?
I've done some testing so far, and I must admit, if the testing goes the same way as the race day does, the Honda's looking okay. I wouldn't say it's going to be up there with the Hyundai, but it's not going to be far off. Not at all.
There you go. Reason to be looking up here for Craig Schill as we go to Thursday afternoon. Craig, thanks for your time. Congratulations on at least some, I think, decently good runs in between. And I know today was a bit of a struggle, but hope to see you doing exactly what we expect you to do. So maybe a win even at Road America on Thursday. I think it's possible. I think we'll be watching out for car 582 as a Pro-Am over there. Best of luck to you on Thursday. We'll see you then.
Well, I'd just like to say one thing. Thank you. Good luck. Well done to Ali Atcher for his top 10 finish in Pro-Am. He's raced really well tonight.
There you go, absolutely. And Alistair does go ahead and get that overall top 10 just behind James Clark, and hey, just ahead of Jason Cooper. Anytime you beat Jason Cooper, that's a good day. So properly good reasons to be excited over 88 Tech. And again, one more time, Craig, thanks for your time. We'll talk to you on Thursday.
Cheers.
Craig Schill with, I love the teamwork over at 88 Tech. They really do feel like so much of a team. They always work together. They always try and build each other up. I love what they've got going on with that. That is always what you want in a sim racing team. In a world of many different kinds of sim racing teams and different ways of doing things, that is what you want. You want that kind of team aspect where everybody builds each other up at the end of the day. And that will do it, though. As far as racing goes here, JP, what do you take away from Road America?
The teamwork, I feel like that has to be, the highlight. I feel like, we saw teammates working together, holding back when they needed to, really attacking when they needed to. And I feel like that was the star of the show. Obviously, we got great racing. We got some surprise victories, some very close finishes. But, yeah, I feel like seeing those teammates work together, Andrew, for, I guess, a higher goal, you could say, a higher purpose. I think I'm going to work with that. It really put a smile on my face, and I really enjoy seeing that.
definitely teamwork is going to be the name of the game Thursday as well. Drafting is going to be the subject of the day, the subject of the week, and potentially the subject of the rest of the season here with the British Sim Racers as we get closer and closer. We're now halfway through this Mazda season, by the way, and Thursday we'll hit the same mark for the touring cars. Exactly halfway through things. It seems like as soon as we start one of these seasons, we're already talking about coming down to the end of it. So quickly rolling through these 10 weeks of racing, already through 5 of them. That means 5 more to go. Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, Watkins Glen International, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, Daytona International Speedway, and Sebring International Raceway to round things up on May 24th and May 26th. That will do it, though, for the Mazdas. A big thank you to everybody here at Pit Stop TV and all of our partners as well. Of course, Tucson Sound Art, Permanent Cryo in Maine, Whiplash Media, and Whiplash Simcams, and BAM Racing Videos. A thank you to JP Costa for joining me on the mic today. It's been a whole lot of fun. Before we go, one more reminder. These are the broadcasts we have coming up. And JP, we talked about the North American Racing League race earlier on, but it really is going to be one of the, I think, must tune-ins, at least of the spring here at Pit Stop TV. Porsche Cup battles coming down to a precipice in Austria. It's going to be a lot of fun. That starts at 8:30 Eastern. Then tomorrow night, it's Talladega Super Speedway, which is always fun for the Outlaws Sim Series. That is 7:30 Eastern with Emerson Arden taking you through that coverage. And Thursday afternoon, we're right back to it here at Road America. BSRTC coverage at 8 p.m. UK.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic race tonight at Red Bull Ring. We had a fantastic race on the GT3s was it last week or a few weeks ago?
A couple of weeks ago, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah. So it was a fantastic race, and I feel like the Porsche Cups, with the nature of the car, it's going to be much more fun. And yeah, you shouldn't miss it at all.
A whole lot of reason to tune in to Pit Stop TV this week. I know we say that a lot, but these are going to be some of the best races I think we have of the spring. We had great racing today here at Road America. We'll have that again Thursday. We're going to have a championship at one of the best racetracks, I think, that's been added to iRacing in recent years, the Red Bull Ring. We're going to have draft packs, draft battling, of course, at Talladega. We're going to have GT3 cars this Thursday evening at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then we do Talladega again with the next gen cars with the MPI Cup Series on Sunday evening at 9 Eastern. So yeah, we've got a lot of great racing coming up, and it's going to extend into May. I'm really excited for every broadcast that we have coming up here on the channel. That will do it for us from Road America. It's been a lot of fun. Once again, I want to thank JP Costa for joining me today. I want to thank everybody else here at the channel for doing what they do, everybody behind the scenes, Emerson Arden and everybody else on the Outlaws coverage, another series. And you know what? A big thank you to Emerson Arden, Devin Zimmerman, and Ed Scher for taking over on Sunday evening and allowing me to spend Easter with my girlfriend and her family. That is always important, and hopefully everybody else had a good time, you know, for the holiday. However you spent the Easter holiday, or at least apparently Easter for us here in the United States, so that changes worldwide, but this is very much a whole world, not just us. But however you spent this past weekend, this holiday weekend, I hope it was fun, hope it was healthy. I hope that we're all better for it, and we can go into this week and enjoy things and have a great weekend again this weekend, and a great weekend and everything. So hopefully that was all fun for everybody. I know it was an enjoyable time for myself. That will do it, though, from Road America, which is also an enjoyable time for myself. Thanks for tuning in this evening. Watch out. We've got that, again, that Road America clip coming up here in just 1 second. This, again, from Kyle Heyer and Sim TV.
For those who competed decades ago, speeding down highways, through towns, country roads. For those who sat watching on the sides of the street, who found solace in chaos and thunderous speed. Even for those who grew up without the sights and the sounds, and live without race cars shaking the ground. Who don't understand why racing appeals to our fascination, wonder, and the way that we feel. A purpose-built place to camp and spend time with friends, watching racing together until darkness descends. Though no longer do the streets rumble and roar, there's a place just for this, a park to explore.
a road racing circuit before the assault. The 4 twisting, beautiful miles at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For 6 brutal, ear-shattering hours, its serenity will be violated by the raw power of screaming racing machines. It's the famed end-of-season endurance classic, the Road America 500. The specially constructed race circuit at Elkhart Lake at normal speed is a scenic 4-mile drive through fall-tinted Wisconsin countryside.
Hidden by forests near Elkhart Lake. Not a path nor a trail, but a road meant to race. In a town too quiet, the refuge we seek. Road America, the racetrack, the national park of speed.